We lose the audio?
Yeah, it sounded like it. We'll just wait on the tunnel vision, I guess.
That's right. Hey, and there we are. Good morning, everybody.
Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. You're welcome. Oh, that's
Oh, we're gonna start off with a rendition of Moana this morning.
do the metal version. You're welcome.
You're welcome. Yeah, man.
Nice. Yeah. Welcome everybody to a rare edition of Metalheads Unite. I'm actually on location in Danville, Virginia, for the Blue Ridge Rock Festival, and Chris is
In my kitchen.
Yeah. Which at this point I'd almost rather be in my kitchen, but today's going to be a big day up here, so can't miss that. So,
yep.
We're going off of the traditional way we do things here, because I am on location and I haven't really had a lot of time to do a whole lot of what I usually do, which is a lot of research. So,
Jason's got the excuse of not being at home, so he didn't do his homework this week. So he put it all. He texted me and put it all off on me. You know, this week he's the guy in the group experiment who lets everybody else do all the work and then shows up to get grade.
Sure. I mean, y'all do all the work and I'll do the presentation. We got this. Right?
So yeah, but we are so we are going. We are an hour and a half ahead of our normal time slot this week due to Jason being out of town. But we also want to give a shout out to the KTV radio people this morning, because we are doing our first broadcast over there with them this morning. So good morning to all those folks out there. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, wherever you guys are. And, it is.
And I'll go ahead.
It is Saturday. Yeah, it is Saturday morning here in the United States.
I'll go ahead and apologize up front that I am using a hotel Wi-Fi, so we know how great those are.
Well, and
hopefully I don't cut in and out too much. So.
Yeah, and I'm using the Wi-Fi at my house, which we all know from a couple weeks ago sucks. I actually had to reset my damn Wi-Fi router about 20 minutes ago, because for some reason, even though it's completely sunny and about 60 degrees here this morning, there's not a cloud in the sky, but for some reason my Wi-Fi wasn't wanting to cooperate this morning. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that I can actually keep my signal all day too. I don't know what's been going on with my Wi-Fi here lately. It may be I know a couple weeks ago when I actually lost my connection completely for a little bit there, I went off on a little bit of a rant talking about looking for a new ISP, and I still may have to do that. It's getting a little annoying. So, all right, but without further ado, let's go ahead and kick this baby off.
All right. Well, I did want to start this thing out with a bad note, but I wanted to rant a little bit about the situation up here. From what I understand, this is a new venue or a new property for this festival, so I kind of overlooked it a little. But still, I mean, you've had a lot of time to plan this thing out, and it just seems like there was a ball drop somewhere. But so we drive in Thursday. We leave. We probably left where we were in traffic about an hour and a half to 2 hours before Soulfly was to play. So that was like the first band that we wanted to catch. So we were in traffic. Then we got GPS sent us around the traffic and then we got back into the traffic on the opposite end of it. So, and then when we come through the opposite end, a cop was saying, "Oh no, you can't park in this parking lot. You have to go around to the other side of the road," which I was on to start with. So that was always awesome.
Oh, good lord.
Yeah. So although we bought a $55 or $60, I think it was $60 something parking pass for the 4 days up here, and nobody outside the venue knew where that got me into park, which was always great. so, so once we got in and actually got the placard for the 4 day parking we could put in the mirror, I was trying to ask inside the venue if anybody where we even picked the placard up was like, hey, where does this give us access to park at? Because we had to park about 3 miles off the reservation the first day we were there, which was a long ass walk, especially when you already been walking that festival for 10 hours. Um, but anyway, so even the people inside the venue didn't know where that got you to park. So like nobody knew anything about parking. So we kind of got that out of the way. Yesterday we had a little better luck. We got a little bit closer. We got like a little less than a mile from the venue yesterday. So we're going to try to keep that flow going the next couple of days and try to stay in that area. So
How far away from the concert venue are you right now at the hotel?
the hotel, I'm about 40 minutes away from the venue at the hotel. So
Oh, okay. All right, I got you.
which was crazy because I wish I'd have mapped it out a little better because it's actually 40 minutes past the venue instead of 40 minutes before it. So
Oh, whoops. Okay.
yeah, yeah, I overshot it a little. So,
Yeah.
but uh, but yeah, it just seems
Yeah.
like there was a lot of unorganization there to this weekend, but maybe they're getting it figured out. I don't know, but I know they had like people was talking about they were waiting in shuttle bus lines for like 2.5 hours trying to get to the venue from the shuttle bus line. And I was like, you know what? We actually took out walking, and we got probably I could see the entrance to the venue, and then I seen the bus picking up people coming through. So I walked almost faster than the bus could get over there to pick up a load of people and bring them down. So I was just like, yeah, we're just walking. I'm not dealing with all that. So
Yeah, that's never
yeah.
good. Jesus.
So needless to say, with all that fiasco, I actually missed Soulfly and I actually missed Testament, which pissed me off. So
Oh, I'd have been pissed too.
yeah,
Yeah.
so that was the ordeal there. We actually left like really really early yesterday, so maybe that was one of the key points to getting getting where we need to get. But I know today we're not really too worried about anything till around 2ish. So I know we're ending this at like 11:30 the time here. So once I
Mm-hmm.
get off here, I'm going to throw my shoes on and head out the door. And that way we'll get there probably around 12:30 ish. So I still got an hour and a half to do the hike and get in. So
Yeah. Who's gonna be the first artist today that you'll see?
I think it was 10 years. I think
Oh, okay.
that's
All
what we're
right.
going to see first. Yeah. So
Okay.
today's a pretty stacked day. We have 10 years. We have Avatar. We have of course Trivium, Lamb of God, Megadeth, Five Finger
Oh, the
Death.
tour of the year day
Yeah,
today.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Five Finger Death Punch closes out the day. So yeah, it's pretty stacked up today. So
Yeah. Gonna be a good day, Tater. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yesterday wasn't bad. I'm gonna go through. Like I said, we're doing something a little unorthodox today since I am on location. Chris has been a trooper and decided to do most of the new news stories for you guys. I had everything for as my birthdays and my history already logged up, so that's easy to do when it's in the past, and you can kind of get anybody's
Right. Yeah.
birthday anytime you want to. But the news comes out pretty much on a daily basis, so I wasn't able to
Right.
keep
Yeah.
up keep up with a lot of it. Being like I said, we left here at like I don't know 9ish or so yesterday, I think it was, and then we got in the hotel room at midnight, so you know,
Yep.
not a whole lot of not a whole lot of time to do anything. And another bad thing is like once we get into the festival, like you can hang it up. Like once like you go up this little hill to get in, and once you go up and then you go down a little bit of an embankment to get in. And once you get into that gate, you can hang up getting any Wi-Fi or getting any signals whatsoever. Like I could text at certain spots, but that's about it. You can't get, we can't get on there to look at, any updates or anything like that. Which I'll have
Yeah.
to. I'll actually touch on that in one of the stories that I have from yesterday. So, but yeah, Chris decided to. Well, he didn't decide. He was just being a trooper and said, "Yeah, yeah, I'll take your slack, Jesus Christ, guy, whatever."
That wasn't my answer to your question. That wasn't the answer. So,
Yeah.
and I got plenty of current events to talk about too. So we should
All
be
right,
good to
cool.
go there.
So I'm actually going to be informed the same time you guys are this week because I haven't had a chance to.
Right? Yeah.
I hadn't had a chance to look at anything. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so we're gonna kick this thing off. I can go ahead and kick out with these birthdays. Not a whole lot to go over, so we'll run that down real quick. September 5th, we had Mr. Freddie Mercury. He was a singer and songwriter for Queen who died in 1991.
Mm-hmm.
Brad Wilk, American drummer for Audio Slave and Rage Against the Machine. And you had Charles Greywolf, real name David Vogt, from guitarist and producer for Powerwolf. September 6th, we had Banner Thomas, bassist for Molly Hatchet. He unfortunately passed away in 2017. We also had Scott Travis, drummer for Judas Priest. September 7th, we had Kyle Stevens, guitarist for Bane Tango. Did a couple of stints with those guys from 88 to 93. And then, of course, he is the current since 2019. We have Paul McCoy, vocalist for 12 Stones. September 8th, we had Wild Mick Brown, drummer for Dokken and Ted Nugent. We had Michael Lardy, keyboard player and guitarist for Great White and Night Ranger. September 9th, we had Doug Engel, vocalist and keyboard player from Iron Butterfly. September 10th, we had Joe Perry, guitarist for Aerosmith. And of course, today, September the 11th, Tommy Shaw, singer for Styx. And we had Gidget Gain, bassist for Marilyn Manson, but he unfortunately passed away in 2008. So that was a little short list of birthdays this week, but that is the list nonetheless. So if I missed anybody, I apologize. Like I said, I I could do a whole lot of extra digging than I usually do, so I kind of just went with the one website that gives me the most bang for my buck. So,
That'll work.
But yes, if I missed anybody, happy birthday! And of course, if any of you out there listen have birthdays or had birthdays this week, hope you had a great one.
Yep.
So, and with that being said, I didn't. I wanted to say this in the beginning too. Is today's a historical day for America. So I just want to give out my thoughts and prayers to everyone that was lost in September 11th attacks, and hopefully,
absolutely.
Hopefully, we never have to experience anything like that ever again. So,
right, yeah, yep, absolutely. Definitely don't want to have to go through that again. And the people like you said, thoughts and prayers to everybody who was directly involved in that, and all of their families who had their loved ones taken from them 20 years ago. Definitely gone, but never forgotten those people and the sacrifices that they made.
It doesn't seem like 20 years ago, does it? It's crazy.
It doesn't. It doesn't actually. All right, let's see. All right. So I guess the current events fall on my shoulders this week, which is totally fine. Like I say, not a problem at all.
Yeah, I think what we can do is, if you want to do a story, and then I'll kind of do a little rundown from
that's fine.
From the events up here, and then that way it gives you a little breath.
Yeah, that's fine. All right. Okay, so starting off our current events segment this week, I'm going to start off at I don't know about you, but my favorite website. I'm going to start off at blabbermouth.net. A little bit of good news to start off with, which is always nice. Earlier this year, Agnostic Front vocalist Roger Merritt was diagnosed with cancer. A long road of tests and diagnoses led to a complex surgery and lengthy hospital stay. Even though the surgery was complicated, the results were extremely positive. The cancer was successfully removed, and Roger is now in complete remission, and all signs of cancer have disappeared. With the joy of knowing that Roger is now cancer-free also comes the bitter reality of months of treatment, and Roger and his family are dealing with the financial backlash of a cancer diagnosis. A GoFundMe page has been launched where fans can donate to help Roger pay medical care costs. Says the band, quote, "Today we are calling upon our beloved worldwide music scene, friends and family to please share this fundraiser and donate what you can during these difficult times. From our family to yours, a heartfelt thank you for your support and contribution. We ask you to please respect Roger and his family's privacy while they continue on their journey to recovery." Born in Cuba, Moret fled with his family to the U.S. to escape the Castro regime. He joined Agnostic Front in 1983, and the seminal New York hardcore group released classics like United Blood, Victim in Pain, and Cause for Alarm over the next several years. In 2017, Moret released a memoir, My Riot, Agnostic Front, Grit, Guts, and Glory, which documented his struggles to adapt to life in the U.S. after his family fled the Castro regime. According to the Phoenix News-Times, the book delved into many facets of Moret's life: the grinding poverty of his childhood, living as a teenager squatter, becoming deeply enmeshed in downtown New York's hardcore scene, and later turning to drug running to support his family. In addition to fronting Agnostic Front, Moret has also played with Roger Moret and the Disasters and is a member of the Alligators. For the past several years, Roger has resided in Scottsdale, Arizona. So if you guys can help out with the GoFundMe account, go ahead and check out that fundraising page over there at GoFundMe's website. But good news to Roger. He is, as of this story, he is cancer free. So that's a positive for him and his family. So
That's awesome.
So happy to hear that.
Just one second here. I just remembered
Okay.
a current event we need to cover real quick.
Right. Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and read another one while you're getting that typed up. It's totally fine. All right. Staying with blabbermouth.net. This was from September 5th. So this was from this past Sunday. Nita Strauss is celebrating the 6th anniversary of her getting sober. Earlier today, Sunday, September 5th, a 34-year-old shredder for the Alice Cooper Band Instagrammed an image revealing she had been sober for 6 years, 72 months, 2,193 days, or 52,608 hours. She captioned it simply, quote-unquote, grateful. When Nita celebrated the 5th anniversary of her getting sober last year, she credited her longtime boyfriend and manager, Josh Vialta, with helping her live her life without alcohol. At times, she wrote, quote, "I thought I needed a drink for just about everything: to be confident on stage, to be social after shows, to celebrate, to mourn, to take the edge off frustration for the sting out of a bad day, to relax and laugh at lunch with girlfriends or watch football with the guys on Sundays. I was terrified that my life was going to change, that without alcohol, I wouldn't be me anymore, that I would lose my circle of friends and my on-stage charisma and become someone else. All those things happened, but not in the way I thought they would. Change came first in my relationship in the form of less fighting and drama and more productivity, peace, and love. Thank you at the Josh V, which I guess is her boyfriend's Twitter handle, for being the catalyst to the best thing I ever did for myself. I love you. The me that I was before would have stayed up until 6 a.m. at the bar or in the bus front lounge. That me that I became would rather get up at 6 and get to the gym before starting the day. My busy circle of friends was almost immediately reduced to a core of 3. I've learned that when it comes to friendships, quality is always better than quantity. If your friends have no interest in spending time with you after you make a change for the better, they weren't your real friends. My first show without alcohol was in front of 15,000 people. I felt like a scarecrow someone had propped up on stage to scare birds. Nothing felt natural. I was going through the motions with this absurd idea running through my head. Everyone is looking at me. Everybody knows. I went out by the bus to talk to fans afterwards, and do you know what they said? Wow, you were so great. Where do you get all that energy? You add so much to Alice's band. All of that insecurity, all the fears, all the doubt was in my head. Those are your demons that make you think you need them. I'm content to sit at the bar, order a soda water with lime, and watch the game now. I wouldn't trade back my old life for anything. End quote. Back in 2018, Nita spoke openly about how she finally got sober in September of 2015, saying that her boyfriend has always been a tough love type in the way she approached her sobriety. He's like, look, you're on this path and I support you, but I'm not changing the way I do things at all, she explained in an interview with Chasing Glory with Lillian Garcia. And I'm kind of glad in retrospect that he did that because it threw me into the fire and showed me, like, hey, you can be around people who are drinking and not drink. He has continued to drink throughout this entire period, but he didn't want me to drink because when I would drink, I would start fights and I would get emotional and I would overreact to stupid things like you do when you drink. It's a part of drinking. It heightens all your emotions and everything. End quote. Nita also revealed that she has never participated in Alcoholics Anonymous to help her stay sober. Strauss has been playing with Alice Cooper since 2014 when she replaced Australian musician and former Michael Jackson player Orianthi. She joined Alice in time for a mammoth Motley Crue tour. She was recommended to Cooper by the legendary Rockers' former bass player and Winger frontman Kip Winger. Nita's debut solo album Controlled Chaos was released in November 2018 via Sumerian Records. So again, congratulations to Nita for getting on what would be the right path for her going forward, and I'm glad she feels better and all that good stuff. It's nice to see when someone can make a change like that and it sticks.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully we get to witness some of her awesome guitar playing soon, since we got tickets to go see Alice Cooper here not in the short future.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
hopefully we get to still get to do that. But with things canceling and backing out left and right, it's hard to say.
Right.
But yeah, I wanted to share some. I want to be I guess I'm gonna be the bearer of the sad news this week. A good friend of mine, Aaron Camaro, over with the Decibel Geek podcast. They do a lot of old school hard rock, heavy metal. The big Kiss fans. So if you're a big Kiss fan, go check out Decibel Geek. But they lost one of theirs this past week, Rockin' Ron Runyon. He had lost a battle with cancer earlier this week. So our thoughts and prayers go out to Ron's family, and we just want to be there to support Aaron and Chris and whatever they may need. So if anybody knows those guys, or go over and show them some support, they can sure use whatever they can get right now. So yeah. So thoughts and prayers go out to Rock and Ron Runyon's family, which that story's kind of. I could probably spend the next hour telling that story about how he became part of that group over there. It was definitely a mishap, I guess, of sorts, because he was just a fan, and then the show, and then finally became part of the show. He was such a big fan, so it's pretty cool. A pretty cool story from Ron. So again, our thoughts and prayers go out to his family and everybody that knew him and worked with him. So
yeah.
So now that the sad stuff's out of the way, man, seems like we can't get through a week without reporting something similar to that. But as is life, I guess. But
that's very true.
So I guess
thoughts and prayers to those guys.
Yeah, I guess I kind of covered the Thursday fiasco already, from getting into the venue to the. All that mess, but yeah, so it was definitely a fiasco. If I had to call it anything, it was definitely that. I want to say they did seem a little better organized yesterday. Hopefully that kind of continues through the weekend. I think they only had like 2 buses running on Thursday. I don't know if they just didn't realize that many people showed up for Thursday, or what the deal was, but they did have four running yesterday, which the line. I mean, if you see a line for that bus, I mean, you're still going to have to wait, probably 4 trips with those 4 buses to get to you a lot of times. So, so it's a lot of people sitting there waiting on transport from and to the parking lots, which I don't know if there was any other way to do that. I'm not sure. I don't event organized, but I'm sure a blind man could have done a little better than that on day one. But
yeah, they definitely need to get their logistical situation figured out, because even 4 buses, like you say, I mean, shuttle buses aren't really that big to begin with, and they had to have known. how many people to expect with the amount of tickets they sold.
Well, that's the thing is they're not using shuttle buses. They're using school buses.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah, so that's what I'm telling you. Like with a school bus, you figure you probably get what 50, 60 people on there at least. Um,
Yeah.
and then
But
you have
still,
it
when
run.
you're talking,
Yeah, you're
yeah, when you're
talking
talking
thousands of
thousands of
people.
people.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a
Yeah.
lot of stuff I'm probably going to talk to on the end on, not that anybody from Blue Ridge probably listens to us, but there's some
Right.
stuff on the end that I'm gonna give them some tips. I'm actually going to email them too and give them some tips on what they need to do next time if they're gonna continue to use this property. It's
Yeah.
definitely some obstacles there. So, anyway, I think one of the things from Thursday, what was so cool was I was watching the Ghost Inside reunite after so many years, and man, what a show! They put on a great show, and man, if you haven't followed the Ghost Inside's story, it's probably one of the more tragic ones in metal music. I know we talk about the Cliff Burton incident and all that kind of stuff, but Ghost Inside's got a pretty,
Hmm.
pretty, pretty, pretty rough story themselves. So, and for them to come out and do what they did was, man, it was almost I want to say heroic, but what they just it's just awesome to see those guys do what they love to do after so many years, and didn't let the tragedy bring them and put them into history. You know what I mean? They're still out there making music. Hopefully, some new music soon too. So, from
Right. Yeah.
what they were talking, it's kind of like hopefully a thing to push them forward. So great on those guys. I hope they do. Another thing that really got me on Thursday was the Skillet show. I know a lot of people uh, may not be Skillet fans as far as in the metal world, but Skillet, man, he just come out and did the thing that I think we all kind of do as far as like with everything going on. He just said, hey, I don't care what side of the fence you're on, you know, whether you're liberal or conservative or in between or mask, no mask, whatever the damn situation is. It says we can all agree on that somebody's making a lot of fucking money off of us right now. So and and I kind of agree with that sentiment. People up there is making money off of fear, and it's great to see so many people. I mean, that's one thing about the festival that I have loved is it's good to see all these people come back together and not live in fear for what's going on. I mean,
Hmm.
everybody seems to be pretty, uh, for the most part, they're pretty safe out there. Like I know, like when we're standing, there's probably people 3 or 4 feet away from us, but everybody's kind of keeping a little bit of a distance. So it's actually pretty good to see that. Of course, I'm sure down in the mosh pits and stuff, you're not going to see that, but
Right.
but
Yeah.
for the most part, people in the general admission area are kind of you know just kind of like taking care of their own surroundings. So it's kind of cool to see that. Um,
Yeah.
it's not a, it's so it just seems like there's not fuck this, we're all going to go ape shit. It wasn't really like that, and it's kind of like a misconception I think that goes on, or they're going to go out there and get all over one another, and I'll get you know be a COVID live bed or something, and it hasn't been. I mean, there's been there's been plenty of sanitation stations and stuff like that all over the place, so that was actually good. They actually gave out free COVID testing for if you wanted to test yourself uh, the concert was over, like Tuesday or Wednesday. If you wanted to test, they gave you a free tested kit to take home with you to do that, which was cool. Um, but but yeah, so it's been pretty cool. And then the real thing that got me with Skillet was John Cooper, lead singer for Skillet, was he's really big on the troops, man, and man, he almost like had the crowd in tears and himself in tears, really telling how much the troops meant to him, and they did the song Hero, uh, but but yeah, so it was really a heartfelt moment there. I think a lot of people kind of connected with that, which was cool. Um, but I think a lot of the people there and like I'll get into that again when the Seven does story, but I think a lot of the people there kind of feel the same sentiment as, hey, we've been cooped up too long. This, we got to get out. And I mean, a lot of people use music as a a mental escape. So, uh,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm
Yep.
kind of glad to see live music back and doing well. So, uh, and cover the Hailstorm was also Hailstorm's great. They always have been a great live band. I know, like we're kind of on the fence with them sometimes, Chris, but they really are good
Mm-hmm.
live.
Yeah.
Like, they really are a great
Yeah.
live band, and of course, I don't think there's a more honest person in in the metal and rock world than Lizzie Hale. It's like she'll just come out and tell you, hey, I'm a freak, it's like,
Yeah.
but
She's definitely written plenty of songs on the topic.
yeah, yeah. So it's definitely always a good show with those guys. So let you kick into another news story, and then I'll go into my second half of Thursday.
All right. All right. Sticking with blabbermouth.net, workwear brand Carhartt teamed up with Metallica's All Within My Hands Foundation this Labor Day with the goal of training a new generation of skilled workers. A total of $377,450 was raised from online sales and will be donated to the foundation's Metallica Scholar Workforce Education Program, which connects students to hands-on learning and provides support to 23 schools via the American Association of Community Colleges. Drawing inspiration from the 1981 Musicians Wanted ad that formed Metallica, Carhartt and All Within My Hands created a want ad aimed at raising funds connecting people to workforce education opportunities. The reimagined ad featured band members from Metallica paired with copy that harkens back to the original ad with the World War era "We Want You" feel. Job seekers and supporters alike were directed to visit carhartt.com to learn more about how to get involved with Metallica scholars. As one of the biggest touring acts of all time, Metallica knows that stage crews and skilled workers are the backbone of the live events industry. To show just how essential these jobs are, Carhartt and All Within My Hands recruited a few lucky job seekers to build a mock Metallica stage piece at Upstaging Incorporated, a production and transportation company who helps put on shows for some of the biggest names in the music and entertainment business. The workshop experience is documented in a video, Hard Rock is Hard Work, and provides a look at the various trade jobs and live events that are also transferable to the larger job market, including welding and fabrication, lighting and electrical, construction, transportation, and more. Carhartt's Labor Day campaign came after millions of people in the live events industry were put out of work as concerts, sporting events, plays, and all other events were shut down due to the pandemic. The need also applies to the country at large, as the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reports 943,000 new jobs in July of 2021, many of which are in industries that require skilled labor. Quote, to build the workforce of the future, we need to connect more people to the training and education that helps fill essential jobs, end quote, said Janet Reese, Vice President of Marketing at Carhartt. Quote, with our partnership, we're sending the message that whether you're in high school looking for a first step or out of work looking for a new start, come join the skilled trades. What better time to recruit job seekers into these exciting, high-demand opportunities than on Labor Day, end quote. Carhartt and All Within My Hands are bound by our shared passion for supporting workforce education, said Dr. Edward Frank, Executive Director at All Within My Hands Foundation. As two organizations dedicated to providing opportunity, we hope to expand the Metallica Scholars Program to include even more schools this year and to get even more students trained for a career in the skilled trades, end quote. So this is, I'm not exactly sure how many times we've referenced Metallica and this foundation that they have going on, but you know, almost another $500,000 that they got together with Carhartt and raised for that foundation, and to have it be that kind of foundation that gives the training for these people to do these kind of jobs. I know that I know not from personal experience, but I know how important that's going to be for those people who want to do that stuff, and to be able to benefit from that kind of foundation is probably it's probably literally invaluable for some of these people who probably wouldn't have access to that kind of training otherwise.
Right.
So, I mean, again, hats off to Metallica for doing this. And to kind of piggyback off of this, I do know that Corey Taylor, he had his cover version of Holier Than Thou from the Metallica Blacklist that came out yesterday. All of the I watched his version of the cover that he did, and all of the proceeds for any sales from his version of that song are also going to be donated to the All Within My Hands Foundation. So, you know,
Right.
so I mean, Corey Taylor is going to be donating more money to the All Within My Hands Foundation just based on his cover of one of the Metallica songs off the Blacklist. So I think that's awesome also. So,
Hell yeah.
you know, so obviously Metallica, keep that shit up, man. You're doing good work.
And since we're on that subject, that's one of the segments that we want to do next week is pick apart the album as far as what we liked and what we didn't like. So
The Blacklist, yeah.
yeah, yes, that's one of the
Yeah.
special things we're going to do next week. So just be prepared for that.
Yeah, 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 we may need to need to get with Dan ahead of time and let him know we may need a little more showtime next week because considering that the Blacklist is 4 hours long on its own, the fact that we're gonna take the time to listen to that and then break it down almost song by song, yeah, we're probably gonna need a little extra showtime.
Yeah, probably, yeah, more likely, but it'll be
Yeah.
all right. Excuse me. Like that's another thing. Like the campground up here is like really dusty because it's like, I don't know if they just got the property and then not done a bunch of trees and it's just kind of left like that. I don't know, but like there's no trees there, but
Probably.
it just seemed like they cleared it off and then it's still like there's not a lot of grass there, so it's a lot of dust and stuff gets stirred up real quick, especially in the mosh pits. And no matter where you're at, they're stirring up dust. You're gonna inhale some of it at some point. So I feel like I probably could, blow my nose and mud come out, but
Oh.
yeah, it's just pretty bad. Hey, we even had like Susie wore a bandana around her face yesterday, and she still got it in her nose. So the mask or none of that's going to hit with the dust. So unfortunately, uh, but it is what it is. So. Uh,
Yep.
so anyway, let's go back to little high notes from Thursday. Black Label Society, of course, shredding. As usual, that's one of the better parts of Black Label to me is the guitar playing on any of their stuff. Of course, Zach's an amazing guitarist anyway, but definitely,
Right.
man, just oh man, I could just sit there and take videos of those guys just doing guitar solos. they're pretty,
Right.
they're pretty
Yeah.
freaking awesome. They're pretty freaking awesome. Actually, I got to send you the video so you can show Angela. So
Oh yeah, yeah. My wife is all about some Zach Wild.
yeah,
And and admittedly not 100% for his guitar playing abilities. So, it
yeah,
is what it
right.
is.
But it's what it's what he's.
Not that I blame her,
It's got to be the way he dresses, right?
not that I
The cute, the
yeah, not that I
kilts.
blame. Probably, yeah. Yeah.
Or maybe what he's hiding behind the kilt. That's what it is.
It could be.
Oh wow.
There's probably a reason why Zach Wild has to wear a kilt, you know what I mean?
Well, you never know. Never know.
Yeah.
Uh, so
And if you ever seen, and I'm sure we've all, a lot of us have seen him play guitar before. He does have an awfully wide stance, so I mean, all the signs are there.
uh,
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm
if
saying.
he starts playing with no hands, we know what's up. So.
Right. You're like, I knew it. I fucking knew it.
So the Breaking Benjamin closed out the night on Thursday. Wasn't one of their best performances, I would say, but and then again, it was their only show of the year, and it had been like 555 days since their last live show. So it could have been just a an issue where they weren't on the road doing it night in, night out, kind of thing. So you kind of get into a repetitious mode, and when you're gone that long, and then you have to come back, it's kind of like, oh, what do I do again? I
Yeah.
mean, it wasn't that bad, but it definitely some vocal issues and stuff like that was definitely lingering over the Reagan Benjamin set. But like I said, overall not horrible. I've seen those guys a couple times, and actually, I could actually say they've done better. So,
Mm.
so but yeah, I think overall Thursday was okay. Like I said, the fiasco part was kind of the if anybody knows, we've talked about this. We actually talked about this last week about the kind of bucket list for bands you want to see, and Testament was on that list for me. So for me to miss that kind of upset me a little
Hmm.
bit, but it was a perfect opportunity to see those guys, and I got to run around from people that didn't know what the hell was going on there. So another thing that's kind of like with this is puzzling to me is that they're not opening general admission entrance until 12, and then the first band goes on at 12:15. Okay, what if that's the band I want to see? Like I don't even have time to
And
get in there to get to the fucking stage, man. It's like
that makes zero sense.
exactly. I was just like, what the fuck?
Because I mean, like because I mean, when you go to a concert at hell any other venue, whether it be when we went to see Machine Head at Exit In, or when you go to when you go downtown Nashville, to Bridgestone to see a band there. I mean, the doors open at least an hour ahead
Right.
of when the show starts. At least an hour, if not an hour and a half in some instances. So how the hell are you going to open the gate 15 minutes before the show starts, especially with a show the size of a music festival, and think that everyone's going to be able to filter in and get to where they want to get to in 15
Yeah.
minutes? That makes absolutely zero sense. That's a short-sighted move right there.
Yeah, I don't know the
That
situation with
makes
it,
zero sense.
or why they decided to do it that way, but yeah, it was definitely not well thought out. That's for sure.
No.
Um, I don't know if they thought, well, we got I don't know, they got like 5 or 6 different entrances there to go through, and they got this new scanning thing. We just go in, kind of like the airport. You go in, stand there, and go on through. It scans you, so you don't really have to do nothing else but just go through that. And then if there's issues, then they'll pull you to the side and search you. But but yeah, so it should be a quick push through and get in. But still, 15 minutes. I would say the first actual stage is probably a good football field away from the entrance. So I mean,
Yeah, someone wasn't using their brain there.
yeah, and I mean, if you had to watch somebody on one of the smaller stages, which are up the hill, then you got that much farther to walk. So, it didn't
Yeah,
make much. I think it was talking about that we're stitched up heart played at like 12:15 yesterday, and I said, well, I hope nobody was wanting to see them because we're still in line. So,
yeah, no shit.
uh,
Yeah,
but
like,
yeah,
well, we'll be able to listen, but yeah,
exactly, yeah. And another thing about Thursday that kind of ticked me off, it was like on my part, was we lost our map and we didn't realize that they didn't have any service inside the venue there. So we were trying to keep pulling up the map, because we didn't really know where anybody was or anything like that at the time either. I knew I'd already missed the Testament, so we was trying to figure out who's next, and all that. And we lost the map, so we didn't have that because I printed out my own because I didn't know, what they had there. And actually, they don't have anything there. They kept trying to tell me, well, you can find all this stuff out at an info tent. I'm like, well, if there's an info tent here, I've yet to see it. So,
yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I walked, I walked,
Where?
I walked the whole thing on
Go ahead.
Thursday
Sorry.
trying to. Yeah, no, you're good. I walked the whole thing Thursday trying to find this info tent that seems to be non-existent. So you would think it would be
Hmm.
like right on the inside of the gate, have an info tent set up right on the inside of the gate where you could pick up, a map
A map.
or buy a map. I mean, probably could buy you probably sell them
Yeah.
for $5 or something,
Yeah.
But but anyway, so with that ordeal, I got to see one song from Sabaton, which was kind of disappointing as well. So I know that was probably one of the bands that you would have probably wanted to see if you were here. So,
Oh yeah,
uh,
yeah,
but I did get to see one song, so I don't even remember honestly what it was because uh, I was so irate that day that I
yeah,
really didn't take a lot from Thursday, unfortunately, because of that. And I, kind of said, well, I can't go in like that. I mean, we're here to have a good time. So I finally calmed down and was kind of like, yeah,
yeah.
okay, we gotta get through this, and hopefully tomorrow be better. And it was. I mean, yesterday was a little bit better day, which I'll go through some of the high notes of that too. A little more high notes from yesterday. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, on the plus side, Sabaton will be here in Nashville next month. So
exactly. So that's like one of the things we were talking about when we left. So what we're gonna try to get tickets to Priest and Sabaton.
yeah,
After we get back home. So
yeah. I'm gonna try. I'm definitely gonna try to get in on that show with you. So
yeah, okay, cool.
yeah, I'm definitely gonna try to do that one. All right. So we're done with blabbermouth.net for this week. We're going to move over to loudwire.com here for a little bit. Sticking with a little bit of Metallica. I don't know if you've ever seen videos of this, Jason, but I've seen it a couple times. But the slow but explosive build of Metallica's Enter Sandman just seems ready-made to be a sports anthem, which is why it's been a part of Virginia Tech's college football tradition for years. But how much does the band's entrance theme rile up the crowd? Well, this weekend's entrance for the home opener actually registered on seismographs. While not technically earthquake level, it was pretty easy to spot exactly when the football-hungry fans erupted to Metallica's powerful classic during the matchup of the hometown Hokies against the North Carolina Tar Heels in a seismograph reading shared by college football Twitter on Reddit. And then there's an inset of it. There's a seismograph, printout reading thing inset on the Twitter feed, right? On the in the story. And it goes on. It says, as is tradition, the Hokies football team waits in the tunnel, allowing the Metallica opening to build to a crescendo before entering the football field, typically arriving as the crowd absolutely lose their minds. The song started being played regularly at games in 2000, but the tradition started a year later when one of the team's band members started jumping around as the song played, soon joined by his colleagues, and the energy then started to spread to the audience. It's also been used by the Hokies basketball team. In this case, it was the Hokies' home opener, and with fans not able to see a game in person in over a year, the 65,000 strong audience at Main Stadium was more than ready to let off some steam. The Hokies went on to upset the nationally ranked Tar Heels 17-10. Enter Sandman first appeared on Metallica's 1991 self-titled Black Album, becoming an MTV hit and catapulting the metal band into the mainstream. The song crossed over to hit number 16 on the Billboard Hot 100 charts and has become a staple for the group as arguably their biggest song. And yes, Jason, I am going to say it. And the Black Album has also become the best-selling album of all time across all genres in the Nielsen SoundScan era. I will say it probably every goddamn time until it is not true anymore. But like I say, Jason, I don't know if you've ever seen videos of that on YouTube. I've seen it a couple times. I actually have a coworker who is a massive Virginia Tech fan. I think he's originally from that area, but anyway, he was telling me about it. I think maybe a year or two ago, he was telling me about it, and I saw a video of it. It's pretty bonkers to see that many people in unison jumping up and down to the start of that song, and then the team comes out. Then the team runs out of the tunnel, like it says in the story, and they all go ape shit. So it's pretty cool to see. Which stuff like that is another reason why I prefer college football to the NFL. I mean, I like watching football anyway, but I would much rather watch college than the NFL. I like the overall atmosphere, and I think they just have more fun
yeah,
overall. So, but so yeah, if you get a chance, if you get a chance to go to YouTube to check that out at all, just look up Virginia Tech's Enter Sandman stadium entry. I'm sure if you type that in, you could find it, but it's actually pretty bonkers to watch. It's pretty neat. So
I have to check that out. I hadn't seen that, so I have to definitely check that out.
yeah,
So
yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right, so I'm going to cover a couple of points right here from yesterday. Those that don't know, Non-Point had to have a last minute cancellation. There was an accident with their equipment and vehicle carrying it, so they couldn't
Oh,
make
damn.
so they couldn't make the show. The only like critical thing I'll make on this is that people were at the stage where Non-Point was supposed to play, and if you're not on a lot of the and following Non-Point on their 361 fan page or just following the band in general, you wouldn't have knew that happened, so you wouldn't have known they weren't there. So there was a lot of people already at that stage waiting to hear them play. Nobody came out from Blue Ridge and explained the situation that they weren't going to be there, so that people could move on into other parts of the venue to see somebody else. So I kind of think that was a ball dropped on the venue's part. Someone from the festival should have came out and said, "Hey, sorry guys, but there's been a last minute cancellation. So feel free to move about the venue to find another band to see." But none of that was done. So you had people sitting there, 30 minutes into what would have been their set, not knowing they weren't there. So yeah, I think a little bit of communication dropped there on Blue Ridge's part, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully Non-Points gotten their everything fixed and back together, so they can kind of get back on the road. Because I know those guys really do make their money on the road, so they
Yeah.
they pretty much been tearing it up this whole time during the lockdown and everything. So playing wherever they could. So of course,
Yeah.
they started their own record label. So that's kind of a venture in itself. So you definitely want to be out to support the new record label and stuff, and they can't do that right now. So hopefully they get it straightened out. But like I said, that was one of the main reasons we were there yesterday. Because we're big Non-Point fans. But like I said, they can't knock them for having accidents. I mean, that's something that's just going to happen. So,
Yeah.
but like I said,
Nobody was
everybody,
hurt. What?
yeah,
Nobody was
yeah,
hurt,
no,
were
no,
they?
no, they did. They said no, everybody was fine, so that's a good thing.
Okay. Well, that's
Like I
good.
said, their equipment got banged up some, so I don't know how much of that they're going to
Oh,
have to
okay.
replace and or whatnot. So hopefully they'll get it all worked out and get back on the road.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
of course,
if there was a bright side, it probably would have been, it's probably good for everybody else at the concert venue that you didn't get to see Non-Point. The bullet with a name would have come on. You would have started suplexing people.
oh yeah, well, I don't know about all that, but I don't know. If it was on Thursday, I probably would have definitely been.
Yeah,
Instead,
you were in the mood to suplex somebody
I
on
was
Thursday.
I was already hyped up for it, man. God, but yeah. So anyway, good luck to good luck to Non-Point. Hopefully, they get back
Yeah.
on the road soon.
Yeah.
Another thing, one of your favorites and mine, Fozzy. Of course, man,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they could have picked a better band on the main stage to hype the crowd up and get them ready for bands like Anthrax and Seven Dust. Oh man, Fozzy just man, they had everybody early in the day up and jumping and so of course Jericho's good at
Nice.
all that kind of thing. Uh,
Yeah,
but
Jericho's been good on the mic way before he was in Fozzy. Yeah. So
exactly, yeah. So they did do a rendition of "Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap." I thought was pretty interesting. Um,
nice.
yeah, so that was that, and then I
Talking about
want
his talking about his latest heel run in AEW.
yeah. Then I want to touch on Gemini Syndrome. First time I saw those guys, and man, I gotta say they put on a great live show. I don't know a lot about Gemini Syndrome. I've only know maybe a handful of songs from those guys, but
Yeah, same.
they put on a great show. I definitely would love to check those guys out as an opening act or even headlining their own thing. I know they do have an album coming out soon, so we'll be able to check that out and get some reviews on that.
Yeah,
I think they said I think it's
absolutely.
the 15th of October. I think it is somewhere around in there. So
Okay.
yeah, So
Yeah, we'll make sure we touch on that when that comes out.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, definitely a band to check out live, man. I was really impressed. So if I had a surprise from the last 2 days, that would probably be it. I'm just they were kind of the only band that I knew in the lineups of that time frame. So I was like, yeah, we'll just go over there because the next band was I think they were right in between Anthrax and Seven Dust. So um, the next band was Anthrax, and then they had two bands on a smaller stage before Anthrax. Anthrax, I mean, it took them from Seven Dust to Anthrax. I think it was a 2 hour and 10 minute uh, break in between that on that stage. So they had to like really set up for Anthrax's show. Man, it was crazy to take that long to set them up. Man, I was like, golly.
Right.
Uh, but, but yeah, so that was part of my take. I'll let you get another story in, and
All
circle
right.
I'll circle back.
Okay. Oh no, you're not going to circle back, are you? Oh Jesus. Okay. All right. Sticking with Loudwire.com. A new book about the late Eddie Van Halen to be released next month aims to capture the complete history of the influential guitarist and iconic Van Halen bandleader through the words of the rocker himself. It's called Eruptions: Conversations with Eddie Van Halen, and it takes its source material from over 50 hours of unreleased interview recordings with the musician. Those interviews, mostly captured on location at Van Halen's 5150 studios over the years, were amassed by Eruption's authors, music journalists Brad Tolinsky and Chris Gill. New material from EVH's family, friends, and colleagues supplements the guitarist's commentary. A book overview from publisher Hachette Books says since his band Van Halen burst onto the scene with their self-titled debut album in 1978, Eddie had been hailed as an icon not only to fans of rock music and heavy metal, but to performers across all genres and around the world. Van Halen's debut sounded unlike anything that listeners had heard before and remains a quintessential rock album of the era. End quote. It continues, quote, for more than 4 decades, Eddie gained renown for his innovative guitar playing and particularly for popularizing the tapping guitar solo technique. Unfortunately for Eddie and his legions of fans, he died before he was able to put his life down on paper in his own words, and much of his compelling backstory has remained elusive until now, end quote. EVH died at 65 in October of 2020. Van Halen quietly disbanded after his death. His son Wolfgang, a late-era Van Halen member, currently fronts Mammoth WVH. Eruption arrives October 5th. Get more info below and pre-order the book at hatchetbooks.com. So, yeah, that's probably that may be one that I take a look at. I don't really have time to read too many books, but I do like to, when I get a chance, read autobiographies or
Right.
firsthand accounts, whatever you want to call them. So I've read Ozzy's, I've read Dave Mustaine's here in the last couple of years. I know Dave Mustaine's got another one that he came out with not too long ago that I want to check
Mm-hmm.
out. I do know that David Ellefson came out with one not too long ago that I haven't read yet. So I like to read these kind of books when I get a chance. So hopefully next month when it comes out, maybe I'll have time to pick it up and check that out. So
Have you
I
have you
bet
read
it'll be an interesting read for sure.
have you read Rob Halford's book?
No, that's actually another one that I want to read because I
Yeah,
know it came out not too long ago too, and I heard it's really good. I heard
yeah.
it's
I, wa-
really, really good.
I would love to read that myself.
Yeah,
Like I'm kind of like you. I don't really have a lot of time to read.
yeah,
Uh, it's kind of comes with home ownership. It's like when you're not working, your house makes you work. So,
right. Yeah,
uh,
yep.
and you're like, I know why people rent now, but
Yeah, no shit. Yeah,
uh,
yeah. Just one phone call. It's broke. Come fix it. Yeah. Pros and cons, man. Pros and
yeah,
cons.
yeah. So let's get back into a little bit of Friday. I had to break Friday down into like three different segments here, so
Okay.
it was a pretty big day. Um, so I will say that there was a couple bands. Saul, if you don't know Saul, they're a great band. I know a couple of their songs. Brothers, one of my favorites from them those guys. Cannon Hill, and one of the last or two bands I've never heard of before. but I kind of caught them on a stage in between walking, and like they just caught my ear, and I stopped, and I'm just like, these guys are fucking awesome. So those are two bands that I'm definitely going to dig into a little more. Cannon Hill and One of the Last. Both of those bands were really really good. So if you know to hear them live and then kind of take something from them live, going wow. Already a step in the right direction. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, those are a couple bands I want to check out and try to share some of the videos and stuff if I can find any onto the Metalheads page on Facebook. Um, so I did try to catch Chevelle. Man, it was kind of hard. I did get in there to hear, probably 6 songs or so. But man, they were definitely on the wrong stage. Good God, you like you couldn't. The stage said it was kind of weird too because it was on. They put all the tall like camera where the camera guys and stuff are. They put all that on top of the hill. So if you were behind that, you were screwed. so
Yeah.
so I don't know what if that was the only position they could get in to get their what they needed, which that kind of comes first with the band, I guess. But
Hmm.
yeah, I definitely think there was a lot of stage and band mishaps going on because I didn't realize Chevelle was actually that popular, I guess. But and then because there was really a couple other bands that were playing that I thought, oh well, it won't be so bad. But no, man, it was like man. And of course, Chevelle being a two-piece band and play like they do is just amazing anyway. Um,
Yeah.
so kick over to let's see, we'll talk about Seven Dust. That was one of their first shows back as well. LaJohn Witherspoon, I always loved this guy, character wise, personal, musical, and the guy's just freaking awesome all the way around. He actually cried on stage. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, he was emotional about
Hmm.
what was going on, and he was just like, he kind of said the same sentiment that Skillet did. He's like, hey, no matter what side of the fence you're on, he said we all have a common goal today, and it's heavy fucking metal. And I said, yes, it is. So
Yes, sir.
so
Yes,
he was,
sir.
and it was so good to like sit back and see that too. It's like it didn't matter if you were black, white, Asian, Republican, Democrat, you know, COVID Karen, or don't give a shit. It didn't matter what you did or who you were. Like everybody was there for the same reason. You didn't hear, nobody was like giving nobody any kind of shit for anything that went on. So it's really cool to see that again. To where there's a common ground that brings people together. And I see it as we see it as far as going to shows and stuff. I mean, other people see it in other outlets, whatever they're into. You know.
Hmm.
So it's good to see that again. NASCAR fans can probably say, "Oh, it's good to see fans back at the racetracks." So it's good to see all this stuff
Right.
coming back together to bring a common ground to bring these people together where they have no disdain for each other. They just have the love for what they're there to see, and it's just great. It's long overdue in my opinion, but like I said,
Right.
we all
But
have
what?
different opinions on the matter, so we
Well,
won't
yeah,
go
yeah, we
we
do.
won't we won't go there.
But see, that's the thing is, I mean, differing opinions are fine, but it's on what's unfortunate is when everybody comes together at a venue like that for an event like that. And I haven't been to a live music event since you and I went to see Machine Head in Alabama, but
Right.
um, I've been to a couple of comedy shows, and my wife and I we were downtown Nashville last week for our anniversary. So there have been a couple of situations where I've been in a crowd of people,
Mhm.
getting together, for whatever. What's unfortunate is like once you're in a particular venue, all that shit goes out the window. But the second the event is over and everyone walks out the doors and they're back in the real world, everyone's back, at each other's throats, and they're, so I don't, I never could figure that out. I mean, you could put everything aside for like 2 hours, but you can't just let it carry over into the real world. So just,
Yeah.
and like I say, differing opinions are fine. That's totally fine. There's never going to be a situation where everyone has the exact same opinion about something. So I mean,
Right.
so that's fine. But just going over the top the way some people do, it just,
Yeah.
it's just mind boggling. And, it's unfortunate that, you know, that shit just can't carry over. I mean,
I actually heard someone. I had someone in the merchandise line. Heard them saying something yesterday about it was good for them to be outside of an office building for once. so I mean,
right.
if you're working in that field, I'm sure you go from the office and then get stuck at home, so you're not even driving to work anymore. So you don't even get that
Right.
little bit of break from being in four walls before you. And
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
so I can
Yeah. You
understand.
can't, you
I can
can't even,
understand that, and it's like I would go nuts too. So. Uh,
yeah, you don't even get a chance to drive out down the highway with the windows down and the wind in your hair or something. So, I mean, it's just, yeah. Yeah.
and that's one of the things I'll touch on this story since we're into that. I Prevail performed, and they're great as always. So, but Brian Burkheiser, which is one of the singers, he does the clean vocals for the band, and a lot of the kind of rappy stuff. He does that. But he was actually talking about his grandfather passed away during the pandemic, and he said it was the worst thing he ever experienced was not being able to give his grandfather a proper burial because you couldn't gather and you couldn't do those things,
Right.
and so that's man, that's just horrible to try to even think about, not being
Right.
able to say goodbye to a loved one. I know somebody else at the venue said that their mother was in the hospital, and or somebody was in the hospital, and he couldn't even go and say goodbye. Uh, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, this it's affected a lot of people. Out outside of we look at it as, oh, we can't go have fun, but you got to think about
Right.
other instances where it's affected a lot of people, and I think that affects you mentally too. Not being able to say goodbye, to a loved one. Uh, but yeah, so he had a pretty heartfelt moment there too. Like there was a lot of heartfelt moments at the venues, man, and I dig it. Um, you know, it's stuff that needs to be said. I think just to give people
Mm-hmm.
a kind of dose of reality of what's what their personal experiences are, and they're sharing that with their fans, which is cool.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't have to go off and say anything. Of course, oh, John Witherspoon didn't have to go off and be emotional like he did. Which there was something else about Seven Dust that surprised me. So when they come out with was it Blood and Stone was their last album, I think. Uh, Look that real quick. I'm pretty sure that's right. Yeah, Blood and Stone came out in 2020. So they were telling them like, no, look, we don't need to put that out yet because you can't tour, you can't do this, you can't do that. John Witherspoon said, you know what, fuck that, we're gonna put it out anyway. So they put it out anyway,
Mm-hmm.
and they said, you know what, we'll just make another one. That's what he said. He's like, fuck it,
Yeah.
we'll put it out. He said, we'll
Yeah.
put it out. We'll just make another one. That's what he said.
Yeah.
And he said, it took him, what 13 albums, but he said his mailman was bringing him this big package or whatever, and he said, he jokingly, I don't know if he's joking, but he said, I smoke weed with the mailman, so he knew what it was, but I didn't. So he opens
Nice.
it up. He opens it up, and it was a Billboard award for number one rock album, and he says, we had a number one rock album during a lockdown, which is freaking amazing. Uh, you know, and he says, it meant so much to him that the fans made that album number one, even though they couldn't go see the band live. And he
Mm-hmm.
kind of got emotional at that point, and it just carried over into him him saying, "Man, I just can't believe I'm looking out and seeing all this right now." So, um,
Yeah.
but yes, a lot of emotional moments there, and it was like I said, it was pretty cool to see people in their, you know, they're not all just about the rock all the time. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And at the same time, I can kind of see both sides. You say that, Seven Dust came out with their album during the pandemic. And I know, and I can't remember off the top of my head, but I do know that there were a couple other bands that put out new music during the pandemic. I think Trivium's new album, when it came out during the pandemic. But also at the same time, you got bands like Avenged Sevenfold, who, they're recording their album, but
right,
they weren't in a super duper huge hurry because they didn't want to put theirs out during the pandemic because they couldn't tour on it. So I mean, I see both sides, and I have no problem with either view on the matter.
right, exactly.
So so
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. So I mean, I don't fault Avenged Sevenfold for doing what they're doing, and obviously I'm totally on board with Seven Dust and Trivium and bands like that who did put out music. Obviously, I'm all in favor of that, but
well, what wasn't
I see both sides.
wasn't it like I think Lamb of God and Warbringer and all those came out like during the
Yeah, I think so.
right at the beginning of it. They already had a release date, so they just rode with it. So you know what, screw it.
Yeah, they honored it. Yeah.
Yeah, you almost have to at a point. I guess I could see that both ways too. But if it was me, I would want to be true to my word. That's kind of person
Mm-hmm.
I am. I kind of person I am. So if they say,
Sure.
"Hey, we're going to bring this out," we're going to bring this out. So it's like John just hit the nail on the head. He's like, you know what? Fuck it, we'll make another one.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
That's what you do. So
Right. Yeah, but like I say, I see both sides.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
There, no ill will or anything like that.
No,
It would be like getting, I don't know why you would get mad at that. It would be like getting pissed off at Exodus for pushing back their new album because their drummer has cancer. It'd be like, man, you had a release date, man. Why do you got to be an asshole?
right, right,
Um, why are you being an asshole?
exactly.
So yeah, I mean, the album is done. It's gonna come out. Just pump the brakes a little bit. Be
Yeah, be
patient.
patient. Yeah, be
So
patient. Yeah,
yeah, be patient, man. So yeah, we're all gonna be all right. We're gonna get new music. I mean, we've been getting new music, but
right.
you know, I mean, hell, Trivium's already got another album about to come out, and we just had one come out last year. So
Right.
so yeah, we're all gonna be fine. All right, let's see. Another one here at Loudwire. Geddy Lee, the influential bassist vocalist behind Canadian classic rockers Rush, will be honored this Saturday, September 11th, with a Lifetime Achievement Award from the nonprofit Artists for Peace and Justice at a gala in the musician's home base of Toronto. But the award isn't in recognition of the artist's musical output. No, it's a humanitarian honor saluting Lee's commitment to philanthropy, according to a press release obtained by SamaritanMag.com. That's because over the years, the Rush icon has supported charitable outreaches such as Toronto Food Bank, Alberta Floods, Doctors Without Borders, Grapes for Humanity, United Way, Canadian Museum for Human Rights, and others, as Blabbermouth noted. That's on top of his contributions to research for brain cancer, the type that led to Rush drummer Neil Peart's death. The AP event is held annually around the same time as the area's Toronto International Film Festival. This year's gala, hosted by Canadian radio personality George Stroumboulopoulos, is already sold out. The event promises live performances from Haitian artist Paul Beaubrun, Slate Music's Kayla Diamond, and a virtual one from Rick Springfield, as well as video greetings from actors Ben Stiller and Susan Sarandon. According to the organization's website, quote, APJ is comprised of artists, advocates, and creatives across all disciplines who believe in the power of artists to change the world. We believe that everyone has the creative capacity and voice to make a difference, and that we must leverage our collective talent to help create a more just and peaceful world, end quote. Its U.S. board of directors includes Stiller and Sarandon as co-chairs. Rush as a group previously received the 2015 Alan Waters Humanitarian Award at the Juno Awards. In 2017, they received the Canadian broadcast industry's Alan Slate Humanitarian Spirit Award. find out more about the APJ ceremony below. And there's a Twitter inset that it probably, if you click on that, will link you to the APJ website. But good on Geddy Lee for getting that award, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done a lot of stuff with charitable organizations, and that's always good to see these guys give back. So yeah, I'd say a well-deserved award with the amount of charitable organizations he's worked with over the years.
I thought you said something about George Stephanopoulos or something.
Well, it's Strombolopoulos. He
He lives
yeah,
next door to Jerry, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Well, Ben Stiller,
Well, yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll swing back over here and give you the rest of what happened on yesterday. I will say, Motionless in White performed, and they pretty much stole the show for the day for me. Man, I don't
Nice.
know if I've ever seen those guys do a bad performance. I mean, hopefully I didn't jinx them, but
Right.
but yeah, those guys are always great, and they actually did a set that was a little different. They played a lot of let's see, they played a lot of songs, at least 3 songs that I know of they haven't played in a couple of years, so that was good. Last the first time I seen them, I didn't really know a lot about them. The second time I seen them was at a festival as well, and they played a lot of what I knew. This time they kind of like played a couple of B tunes, and they actually did a version of the Killers. Shit, what's that song? Somebody told me or told you, or I don't know what the damn name of that song is. I'm not a big Killers fan, but I know
Right.
it when I hear it, but I don't really know a lot about the song. But they did a pretty good version of it. I would have rather listened to that version than the Killers version, but
Ah, yeah.
but we're kind of like that with a lot of songs. Like Devil Driver kind of made Sail listenable, so to me, but
Yeah.
but yeah, so it was definitely. I mean, probably one of the better light shows of the night too, which was pretty wild to say. I think if Anthrax would have been on at dark, it would have been a lot different story. But but uh, but it was still a little dusk whenever Anthrax was done playing. So I think they were on at like I want to say 6. I think they were on like
Yeah.
six. So they played from about 6 to 7:15 or so, I think, something like that. But so it was still kind of daylight out. It wasn't really, you know, wasn't really strobe light worthy, I guess. uh, but
Yeah.
but we'll touch on the Anthrax while I'm on that story. I think that was the first time seeing Anthrax, and I was not disappointed. I think that there was just a lot that stood out for me. Scott Ian, of course, always awesome. Joey Belladonna was awesome as well. Charlie Benante. I mean, all those guys are always awesome, but they kind of did
Hmm.
their own little vocal thing on stage too. Was awesome. But I think the thing that like stood out with Anthrax was the mosh pit for the song Indians. Oh my god, dude, it was so freaking crazy, man. I was like, this is why I love metal shows. I don't want to be in a mix of it at my age anymore, but definitely like watching it. Uh,
Right.
it was kind of funny that they did it during Indians and not caught in the mosh, but
I was thinking the exact same thing. Yeah.
because they did play caught in the mosh. So, um, but yeah, it was pretty wild. Pretty wild mosh pit there. It was pretty huge. I think I got some video of it somewhere. I'll try to post up on the page,
Yeah.
but yeah. So that was really you know I'd love to see those guys in an indoor environment though. I think it would have been a lot more. I would have got a lot more out of it as in an indoor environment. Uh, I think some bands are better indoors than outdoors. Not saying Anthrax was
Hmm.
horrible by
Sure.
all means. They were great. They were great outdoors too. I just would like to see them in an indoor environment because I've never seen them before. That was my first time, so I don't really have nothing to
Yeah.
compare it to. You know what I mean? It was great
Right.
for me because it was my first time, but you know, although the first time for you and other things aren't so great, but
Right.
uh, I
That's
think that
that's a different pod.
yeah.
That's a different podcast for a different day.
uh, and I think the thing that stood out overall of the night was Rob Zombie and his performance, which is always, Rob Zombie's the party guy, man. If you ain't, you know, if you ain't ready to party by the time he's on at 9 o'clock at night, then by God, you better bring a 12 pack and get ready because he's definitely going to hype you up to go. And man, that guy's just like, he's kind of one of those guys that are, you would think, 50s, they wouldn't be doing as much as they're doing. Just like I say with Bruce Dickinson, it's like watching a mouse run back and forth in a trapped environment. Bruce Dickinson's just all over the stage with Iron Maiden. It's like, hey, it's like, sit still, dude. You're
Yeah.
60.
Yeah. No. Hey, I think Bruce Dickinson is like a shark that if he stops moving, he's gonna die.
Probably yes. But anyway, so there was an incident at the zombie set with one of the security guards. I think at some point Rob Zombie was telling them, hey, get your women on your shoulders or whatever. So, I think the people were trying to get it up there, and a security guard was trying to stop these people out in the front. And Rob Zombie's the greatest thing I've ever heard. I think Rob Zombie says, "Hey, security guy, yeah, you with the hat." And I don't remember what kind of hat he was wearing, but he's like, "You with the hat." He said, "Hey, let them do whatever they want to do." He said, "When your name's on the fucking ticket, you can give the orders, but my name's on this motherfucker, and I'm telling them what to do." So that was the greatest thing ever.
There you go.
So he's he's like, "My name's on this ticket, brother. They're gonna do what I tell them to do." So,
Yeah.
oh man, but yeah, it was like I said, Rob Zombie's always a good time. He actually played. I actually recorded it because I never heard that live before. Was fucking in a UFO. Oh my god, that was so hilarious. But but yeah, overall, yesterday was really good. So, except for the non-point cancellation, which is understandable. I think it was
Mm-hmm.
pretty well day. Everything went pretty accordingly, I guess. I don't think we missed anyone that we didn't try to see, so that was a good thing. Of course, today, like I said, it's stacked. So as soon as we're off here, I'm gonna do the old snaggle puss exit left and pew, get out of here. So,
Right.
so, uh, but yeah, overall, yesterday was pretty awesome. A lot of great bands, you know. So
Well, that's good.
yeah, so like I said, I don't expect to be disappointed too much today, hopefully. But like I said, if we kind of got
Yeah.
the parking thing figured out, so hopefully we're able to get into that same little area where we can not be that far from the venue and get in within. I think the walk from where we were at yesterday to the venue was 15 minutes. Whereas
That's not bad.
yeah, whereas where we were at the other day, it said 40. So we walked 40 minutes the first day to get to the venue. Uh,
Yeah,
which
15's better than 40 for sure.
exactly. Well, I mean, especially when like, my wife says you spend most of our days walking at work all the time, and then we have to come and walk around in this. It's like, man,
Right. Yeah.
it's,
Yeah. All right. Okay, I'm gonna move over to we're gonna move over to metalinjection.net because I probably should have brought this story up a little earlier because this story is massive props all the fucking way around, and you'll know why here in just a second. Greyhawk bassist Darren Wall stopped a shooting before it even began during a show at the Shredder in Boise, Idaho. Wall said in an interview with KTV B7 that he saw would-be shooter Ethan Bird begin making quote-unquote finger gun motions and pretending to shoot people in the crowd. Quote, I don't know if anyone else saw it, Wall said. I got a weird feeling right away. Sometimes you confront really wasted people or really drunk. They're really angry and they're shouting and they're belligerent. This guy was really cold, I would say. Wall and a second member from another band tried to keep Bird outside the venue, at which point Bird left and then returned with a gun. Wall tackled Bird, who unfortunately shot Wall in the leg during the altercation. Quote, I saw him reach behind his back and grab the gun. That's when I moved in, Wall recalled. No other options went through my head. The gun was in the pocket of his pants, and he shot me through his pants and got me in the upper thigh. Bird was arrested by Boise police, and Wall is currently home in Seattle, Washington, recovering. Now go listen to Greyhawk on Bandcamp here, and then there's a link inset on the story. I'm telling you what, man, that guy right there. I mean, it says in the caption of the story that Greyhawk bassist Darren Wall is a hero. I'm telling you what, man, calling that guy as a hero, needless to say, is a fucking understatement.
Yeah.
That guy paying attention to his surroundings and seeing that shit and stopping that guy and even taking a bullet. I mean, for fuck's sake, man, that's shit, man. That's you want to talk about good looking out? That's good looking out right there. You know. So, I mean, I'll give all the props in the world to that guy. Well, him and he referenced another band member of another band, but they don't say who that was or what band it was. But those two guys, I mean, a huge shout out and huge props to those guys for stopping that, because there's no telling what could have happened in that situation.
Could have escalated really quickly. Yeah.
Hell yeah. So props to that guy. Massive props to that guy.
I also forgot to mention that that Rob Zombie was talking about the new album. And I can't even remember because it's such a long name. The Lunar Injection Kool-Aid Eclipse Conspiracy.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was actually talking about that this was his, believe it or not, his first #1 album. He said, yeah, it took me 30 years, but I finally got one. I'm like, really? That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's amazing it took that long.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's had a lot of good albums too, which is surprising that this one was actually the one that put him up to #1. Like I said, it's a lot of things though with the pandemic and stuff, because where you can't get out and all that kind of thing. So I mean, that could have a part to play in it. So.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. All right. So, I've got a couple other stories that I think I'm going to hold on to, because I think they'll kind of hold. You know, they won't be outdated by the time I read them, because we're already like 90 minutes in. So maybe either I'll bring them back up at the end, maybe if we got time, or I'll hold them till next week's show, because I know we want to get into history, and we can talk a little bit more about the show if you've got anything else, and then we want to get into the top. We want to get into.
The top 10.
We want obviously we want to get into the top 10s in the album review segment. So I think I'm going to hold off the last couple of news stories until next week, because I say, I think they'll hold.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds like a plan.
So if you want to lead us off with the This Week in Metal History, go right ahead.
Yeah. So, all right, This Week in Metal History, September 5th, 1987. Ian Asbury of the Cult was arrested after a show in Vancouver. Ended in a riot. Staff at the concert claimed they were assaulted by Asbury, who spent the night in the local police cells. I can't imagine a rocker being violent.
Right.
September 5th, 1998, Aerosmith scored their first #1 single with Diane Warren written song "I Don't Want to Miss a Thing." The song, which was also featured in the 1998 film Armageddon, gave the band their first #1 single after 28 years together. That's hard to believe too. That was their first #1. Jesus.
Right. Yeah.
September 5th, 2008, a study of more than 36,000 people from around the world concluded that musical taste and personality types were closely related. The research, which was carried out by Professor Adrian North of Heriot-Watt University, Edinburgh in the UK, suggested classical music fans were shy, while heavy metal fans were gentle and at ease with themselves. So it goes on to say fans of indie music had low self-esteem and were not hardworking. Fans of rap music had high self-esteem and were outgoing. Country and Western fans were hardworking and outgoing. Reggae fans were creative but not hardworking, and fans of chart pop had high self-esteem, were not creative but were hardworking and outgoing. So, uh, not my words. That was the words of a
Right.
professor from White University. So take that with him. But
Well, I mean, when it takes 14 people to write a pop song, I would kind of agree with that sentiment
yeah,
that they're not very creative.
that is true. So
And those are my words, and I'll
yeah,
stick to
right. Uh,
them.
all right, September 5th, 2016, an asteroid was named after Freddie Mercury to mark what would have been the singer's 70th birthday. The Queen frontman has had his name attached to the asteroid's 17473, which was discovered in 1991, the year he died. Queen guitarist Brian May told a gathering of 1,250 fans at Montreux Casino in Switzerland that the asteroid would now be known as Asteroid 17473 Freddie Mercury. So that's pretty cool. Asteroid name.
That is cool.
You got a rock
Yeah.
named after a rock musician.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, it just,
uh,
I mean, the jokes just write themselves, man.
right. Just can't get no better than that. So,
Yeah.
uh,
It's just, yeah.
September 6, 1970, Jimi Hendrix made his final live appearance when he appeared on the Isle of Fehmarn in Germany. I don't know if I said that right, but hopefully it's close enough. September 6, 2008, U.S. rock band Great White, whose pyrotechnics sparked a fire that killed 100 people, agreed to pay $1 million to survivors and victims' relatives. The blaze began at the Station nightclub in the U.S. state of Rhode Island in 2003 when the band's tour manager shot off pyrotechnics at the start of the concert. More than 200 people were also injured in the blaze. One band member, guitarist Ty Longley, was killed in the fire. Um, Tour manager Daniel Bickel pled guilty in 2006 to 100 counts of involuntary manslaughter and was given parole in March after serving less than half of his 4-year prison sentence. I know, we both remember this tragedy, and man, it's you got to have your ducks in a
Yeah.
row, man, doing those indoor shows.
Yeah.
Uh,
That was kind of a, man, it's kind of like a bone chilling video too. Cause I mean,
it is, yeah,
you just see the fire crawling up the wall, and then it took about 2 seconds for people to be like, hey, this isn't part of the show. And
right,
then, just obviously everybody knows what the aftermath was. But I mean, it's just, I remember not too long ago, I don't remember what channel it was on, and I think it may have been due to the anniversary of all that happening. But I remember
yeah,
seeing a show, and it just, firsthand accounts of some of the people who were there, and just, man, there were just, the funny thing was, is it wasn't even 100% Great White's fault, because I mean,
right,
they actually got permission from the venue to do that. But so it wasn't even 100% Great White's fault, but whoever's fault it was or wasn't, to have that many people killed just trying to go see a concert, it's just, I mean, it's just beyond tragic.
yeah. Well,
It just,
I think a lot of it was the exits there too. There wasn't
exactly, that was
enough
part of it. no
exits.
one no one could get out. No one could get out. There was like, I think there was two doors, maybe.
Yeah,
I
I think
think,
that's
and
right.
maybe two doors. Yeah.
There was one where everybody entered, and then one entrant or exit in the back where the band and stuff brought their stuff through. I think so.
Yeah, and I think those are the only two ways to get in and out, and it was a bottleneck, and people either, it was either, smoke inhalation
Right.
or
Uh,
Murph should have put out the fire with a few country fans.
oh my god.
Oh, Murph.
Hopefully there
Yeah,
was no. Hopefully there wasn't many country fans seeing Great
yeah.
White.
There probably weren't too many, but I
Uh,
mean,
wow.
oh damn. Oh boy.
uh,
Ah, good one, bud.
yeah. All right. September 7th, 2007, a report showed that two-thirds of young people who regularly used MP3 players faced premature hearing damage. The Royal National Institute for Deaf People said its findings were alarming, with research showing that 72 out of 110 MP3 users tested in the UK were listening to volumes above 85 decibels. Some MP3 players at full volume registered at 105 decibels, an aircraft taking off measures at 110 decibels. So, yeah, that's kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Uh, I, so you'd be proud of me. I did wear earplugs yesterday. So,
Oh, did you? I was actually
yeah.
gonna text you and ask you if you were doing that. Yeah.
So what was crazy was like the sound for Thursday wasn't as loud as yesterday. So that's what was crazy. Like Thursday wasn't bad to me. I'm just like, it's not really that loud. So it's, you know, I kind of like, I think I'm okay today. But yesterday was really loud. Of course, you had a lot of
Hmm.
the louder bands, Anthrax, Fozzy, a lot of the bigger band Seven Dust that are louder. Uh, so yeah, I think that had a lot to do with it too.
Hmm.
Maybe I don't know, or maybe just the thing,
It could.
just the settings were off. I don't know, but anyway, it's definitely needed yesterday for sure. The first note hit, and I said, nope, I gotta have earplugs. uh, September 7th, 2007, a new study revealed that rock stars were twice as likely to die early as the rest of us. Researchers said that the problem was so bad that the industry should be labeled a high risk profession.
Hmm.
Wow. Not to mention that drugs and alcohol played probably the biggest part in most of those deaths. But okay,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
September 8th, 1990. John Bon Jovi went to number one in the U.S. singles chart with "Blaze of Glory," a number two in the U.K. The track appeared in the motion picture Young Guns 2, for which it was originally recorded, which was an awesome freaking movie.
Yeah. They both Young Guns and Young Guns 2 both were good movies.
Yeah, oh yeah, I love both of those movies. September 8th, 2002, Iron Maiden singer Bruce Dickinson started his new job as an airplane pilot. The heavy metal singer qualified as a 35,000 pound a year first officer with Gatwick based airline Astrios, who took holiday makers to Portugal and Egypt. So, among many of Bruce Dickinson's many talents.
Yeah.
September 8th, 2007, a commemorative plaque dedicated to Don Arden and the Small Faces was unveiled at 5255 Carnaby Street, London. Arden's former offices. Arden achieved notoriety in Britain for his aggressive, sometimes illegal business tactics, and looked after the careers of Small Faces, The Move, the Electric Light Orchestra, and Black Sabbath. He was the father of Sharon Osbourne and father-in-law to Ozzy Osbourne. So,
and
September
and was a and was a massive crook by all accounts.
oh yeah, no doubt. Uh, September 9th, 1992, Nirvana's Chris Novoselic knocked himself unconscious during the MTV Music Awards after being hit on the head with his guitar after throwing it up in the air. I don't know what's much more embarrassing than that. So,
Mhm.
uh, September 10th,
Shotgun
19
blast to the face, maybe, but
yeah. And when asked Chris of the and when asked of Novoselic of the incident, he does not recall. So,
yeah, I don't remember a thing. Yeah, no.
Uh, September 10th,
Yeah.
1988, Guns N' Roses started a
Pepperidge
2 week.
Farm remembers.
Yeah, that's right. Roll that beautiful bean footage. We got footage of
That's
it.
right.
uh, Guns N' Roses started a 2 week run at number one on the U.S. singles chart with "Sweet Child of Mine," the group's first number one, and a number 24 hit in the UK, which is probably one of my least favorite Guns N' Roses songs, by the way. Um, Probably because they just wear it out, I guess. But
Yeah.
September 10th, 1997, an electric chair, which was used in Alcatraz and once owned by Andy Warhol, sold for £4,800 at an auction in Bristol. Warhol used to sit in the chair and watch horror movies. Let's talk about inspiration. Uh,
Yeah.
September 10th, 2007, Pamela Anderson's ex-husband Kid Rock was involved in an alleged assault on drummer Tommy Lee, who was also married to the actress up until
Good
1998.
God.
Yeah, police interviewed witnesses to a tussle involving the pair at the MTV Music Video Awards in Las Vegas. Lee was removed from the ceremony while Rock was allowed to stay, which that seems they didn't ask the fans about that shit.
No, they didn't.
Uh,
Hell, Kid Rock's lucky he didn't get clubbed to death by Tommy Lee's penis.
that's true. That's true. It's on my leg. It's on my leg. Oh, but that's all the history news I had. So,
All right. Okay. All right. Well, my segment here of This Week in Metal History, as always, is brought to you by This Day in Metal on Twitter and on Facebook. Go check out Metalhead Marv over there at his Twitter account or his Facebook page. He, like always, he is a little more active on Twitter than on Facebook, but he does add content to both. So go give Metalhead Marv some love. We love Metalhead Marv here at the show. Starting off with September 4th, some holdovers from last Saturday's, the after show, I guess. September 4th, 1988, Destiny releases Atomic Winter. September 4th, 1998, Paragon releases The Final Command. September 4th, 2015, Five Finger Death Punch releases Got Your Six, which debuted at number 2 on the Billboard 200. September 4th, 2007, Baroness releases their debut album, Red Album. Moving ahead to the 5th, September 5th, 1987, Armored Saint releases Raising Fear. Motorhead releases Rock and Roll, which peaked at number 34 on the official charts in the UK. And Grim Reaper releases Rock You to Hell. September 5th, 1992, Royal Hunt releases their debut album, Broken Hearts. September 5th, 2005, Hypocrisy releases Virus. And Stratovarius releases a self-titled album that peaked at number 4 on the Finnish album chart. September 5th, 2014, In Flames releases Siren Charms, which peaked at number 26 on the Billboard 200. September 5th of 2000, Nile releases Black Seeds of Vengeance. September 5th, 1983, Trust releases Ideal. That's actually French. I actually made sure that I put a note in there so I pronounced it right. September 5th, 1989, Hellstar releases Nosferatu, and Titan Force releases their self-titled debut album. September 5th, 1990, Joker releases a self-titled album. And September 5th, 1986, Anvil Bitch releases their debut album, Rise to Offend. Moving ahead to the 6th, September 6th of 1974, Judas Priest releases their debut album, Rockarola. September 6th of 1988, Arch releases their debut album, Another Return. September 6th of 1999, Candlemass releases From the 13th Sun, and Gravedigger releases Excalibur. September 6th of 1991, Pestilence releases Testimony of the Ancients. September 6th, 1994, Obituary releases World Demise. September 6th of 2004, Angra releases Temple of Shadows, and Kick Axe releases Kick Axe 4. September 6th, 1985, Saints Anger releases their debut album, Danger Metal. September 6th of 2013, Killer Dwarfs release Start at 1. September 6, 1986, Iron Maiden releases the single Wasted Years, which peaked at number 18 on the official charts in the UK.
One of my
September
favorites.
6th of it's definitely up there for me too. September and Devil Driver actually did a cover of that song, which actually turned out pretty well too. September 6th of 2014, Evan Storm releases Blood Leads to Glory, and September 6th of 1989, Martial Law releases their self-titled debut album. Moving ahead to the 7th, September 7th, 1988, Metallica releases And Justice for All, that peaked at number 6 on the Billboard 200. September 7th, 1984, Queensryche releases their debut album, The Warning, which peaked at number 61 on the Billboard 200. And Merciful Fate releases Don't Break the Oath. September 7th, 2004, Amon Amarth releases Fate of Norns. And Dio releases his final studio album, Master of the Moon. September 7th, 2018 was a busy day. Chrysian releases Scourge of the Enthroned. Cauldron releases New Gods. Monstrosity releases The Passage of Existence. Satan releases Cruel Magic. And Metal Allegiance releases Volume 2, Power Drunk Majesty. So September 7th, 2018 was a busy day.
Man.
September 7th of 1992, Lawnmower Death releases Return of the Fabulous Metal Bozo Clowns. So,
Okay
yeah,
then.
go pick up that album. Yeah, go check that one out. September 7th, 2009, Insomnium releases Across the Dark. September 7th, 1994, Impellitteri releases Answer to the Master. And September 7th of 1999, Cold Chamber releases Chamber Music. That's an underrated album if you haven't heard that one. That was Cold Chamber's second album, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I think they did 3 before they broke up, and Des Fafara went on to found Devil Driver.
Yeah. Which
Moving ahead to the 8th. Go ahead.
I was saying, which we also love.
Oh, yes, we very much do. September 8th, 2017, Arch Enemy releases Will to Power. Monarch releases their debut album Go Forth Slaughter, and Threshold releases Legend of the Shires. September 8th of 2003, Iron Maiden releases Dance of Death, which peaked at number 18 on the Billboard 200. September 8th, 1985, Adam Kraft releases their debut album Future Warriors. September 8th of 2008, Iced Earth releases The Crucible of Man, Something Wicked Part 2. September 8th, 2009, Whiplash releases Unborn Again, and 3 Inches of Blood releases Here Waits Thy Doom. September 8th, 1987, Vendetta releases their debut album Go and Live. September 8th, 1992, Ugly Kid Joe releases their debut album America's Least Wanted. September 8th, 2006, Virgin Steel releases Visions of Eden. Moving ahead to the 9th, September 9th, 1984, Explorer releases their debut album Symphonies of Steel, and Fates Warning releases their debut album Night on Brocken. September 9th of 2009, Ensiferum releases From Afar, and Threat Signal releases Vigilance. September 9th, 1997, 6 Feet Under releases Warpath. September 9th of 2016, Evergrey releases The Storm Within, and Devin Townsend releases Transcendence. September 9th of 2011, Sinner releases One Bullet Left. September 9th, 1996, Rage releases End of All Days. Moving ahead to the 10th, September 10th, 1991, Nuclear Assault releases Out of Order. September 10th of 2001, Gamma Ray releases No World Order. September 10th of 2010, Camelot releases Poetry for the Poisoned, and Swashbuckle releases Crime Always Pays. September 10th, 1993, Krabathor releases Cool Mortification, and Coroner releases Grin. September 10th of 1990, Outrage releases The Great Blue, and Iron Maiden releases the single Holy Smoke. September 10th of 1984, Dark Heart releases their debut album Shadows of the Night. September 10th, 1975, Kiss releases their first live album Alive, which peaked at number 9 on the Billboard 200 and charted for 110 weeks.
Wow.
Moving ahead to today's date, the only one I have so far, September 11th, 2001 of all dates, Slayer releases God Hates Us All, which debuted at number 28 on the Billboard
Jesus.
200.
Wow.
I know, kind of ironic, huh?
Man.
So hopefully that's not the only one we'll have for today's date, because that would be kind of like an ironic one to leave off on. But that's the one I will leave off on for right now. If anything shows up for September 11th going forward after the show, I will lead off next week's segment with that. But those are the historical releases from September 4th to September 11th.
Awesome. All right. I guess we're going to go right into our top 10 of the week, which we decided the topic was going to be death, which is kind of, I didn't think about that either before I started.
Yeah, it wasn't on purpose.
No, it wasn't
on purpose.
It definitely wasn't. But
yeah,
nonetheless,
I guarantee you we would have gotten to this theme eventually. It just so happens this was the week that we thought to go with it. So, but this is actually, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, we've said before how much fun we have doing this show, and we do. But this is slowly becoming maybe my favorite segment of the show, because with the exception of this week, we don't, with the news stories, you and I, we touch base during the week to make sure
Right.
that we don't have any of the same stories. But this right here, we do completely blind of one another's list. And then, so these are both brand new to either one of us. And then, obviously to all you guys out there. So we've been using these lists lately to compile playlists for Spotify.
Right.
But that part aside, it's been fun putting these lists together and hearing what songs we shared and what songs we didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is slowly becoming one of my favorite segments of the show.
Actually, was going to slide in the new list. There it is. Into the message board here. So just a second.
All right.
Grab that real quick.
Yeah.
For all our Spotify users, that is the current playlist up that we compile every Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So we do that one, and then we do an extra one on Saturday from the top 10. So you
That's
get two
right.
playlists from us every week. So enjoy that.
Yeah.
Definitely. If you're working out or whatever, there's definitely a playlist every week for that. So
Oh yeah.
definitely get you hyped.
Hell
Pumped.
yeah, man.
So,
Damn
anyway,
straight.
getting into our 10 songs about death. I guess I could kick this thing off here. I'm pretty sure we're going to have a lot of, at least a couple overshadowing ones, I believe. But
we probably will have a couple. I can see a couple that we probably have, but I think I got a couple that might surprise you. But
yeah. So I got Metallica "Creeping Death" from Ride the Lightning of 1984. I have Trivium, what the Dead Man Say from What the Dead Man Say in 2020. I have Death Angel, The Moth from The Evil Divide 2016. That's in the band name, so I just picked a song out that I like. So Five Finger Death Punch I picked Inside Out from the Fate album in 2020. Havoc, Merchants of Death from Five in 2020. Testament, A Day in the Death, Dark Roots of Earth in 2012. And I had Hatchet, Silenced by Death, Dawn of the End from 2013, which I love that freaking song. Rob Zombie's Living Dead Girl from Hellbilly Deluxe, 1998. Right. Doc and Kiss of Death from Back for the Attack in 1987. I went back a little ways on that one.
Right.
Godsmack, A Good Day to Die from Oracle in 2010. So
that was your list.
That was my list.
I will be damned. We only had one duplicate.
And I bet it was
that's why I was laughing the whole time, because I was like, because you would read off one and I was just laughing because like I don't have that one, because I mean because you started off with the one that we doubled up on, and then you kept reading them. I was like, and in my head I'm like, nope. But I mean all great songs, but
right.
Yeah, this is gonna be a hell of a playlist. This is gonna be 19 songs long.
Yeah, we'll find
right,
we'll find an extra one to throw in there.
Yeah, well, I mean, hell, there's.
Hey, if nothing else, we'll find a good cover of Metallica's "Creeping Death" and add that in.
Well, Stone Sour does one.
There you go. We'll throw that in there.
Yeah. All right, so here's my top 10. Of course, in no particular order. I guess I'll just lead off with the one duplicate that we did have. I also had "Creeping Death" by Metallica off Ride the Lightning from 1984. And then back up to the top of mine, I had "Dance of the Dead" by Corrosion of Conformity off of the 1991 album Blind. Then I had "When Death Comes Knocking" by Primal Fear off of 2014's Delivering the Black. Then I had "Death to All But Metal" by Steel Panther off of 2009's Feel the Steel. It's a great song and also, a good message. Death to all but metal.
Yep.
It's for the family. It really is.
Death
and then, Death to all but metal. No, not butt metal. It's a great video too if you haven't seen it. I was gonna fuck her, dude, but now I'm not. So. Awesome. If you don't find Steel Panther, I mean, if you don't like their music but you don't find them funny, then you don't have a sense of humor. I'm just saying.
right, right.
Um, then I had Cemetery Gates by Pantera, obviously off of 1990's Cowboys from Hell. I had Swinging the Dead by Devil Driver off their 2003 self-titled debut album. Then I had From the Cradle to the Grave by Havoc off of 2012's Point of No Return. I had Dead Eyes See No Future by Arch Enemy off of the 2003 Anthems of Rebellion album. I had Dead Memories by Slipknot off of 2008 All Hope Is Gone. And then last but certainly not least, I had A Tout le Monde from Megadeth, the 1994 Euthanasia album. So that was my top 10.
Nice sliding a little language barrier in there. I like it.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So yeah, that was this list was the closest we've gotten to having no duplicates.
Yeah. So awesome.
Yep. So that's going to be a hell of a playlist. And you know what song that I thought you would have that I was going to include but didn't because, I like these other songs more? Angel of Death by Slayer.
Oh my god. Actually, I was going to put that one on there, and I actually did the same thing. I was like, oh, he'll probably have that one. So,
So that could be our 20th song
yeah,
too.
that's actually what we'll do. We'll do that one.
I mean, definitely no disrespect to Slayer or that song, but I mean, I love that song, but when you're doing a top 10, sometimes there are snubs, and I guess you could kind of look at that one as a snub, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. We'll throw it on the playlist anyway.
Okay. Let's do our little album rundowns real quick. I guess I only did the one, so
Yeah. All right, we'll go
actually
ahead and knock that one out.
yeah, I actually listened to the Between Worlds from their self-titled, looks like their self-titled debut album, actually.
Oh, nice.
So let's see here. Complete lineup is Ronnie Monroe on vocals, which he is like the main, I guess, person in Between Worlds, and he just adds in the kind of like I guess like a Nine Inch Nails type deal there, where he's doing all of it, and then adds people in as he needs to. But
Yeah.
everybody that was associated with the album, Alessandro Del Vecchio was on keyboards and backing vocals. Pete Alpenborg on guitars, Jack Frost on guitars, Alex Jensen on bass, Michelle Sana on drums, John Lee Middleton on bass on one track, and then Joel Hoekstra guitars on track 6, and then Chris Caffrey guitars on 5 and 7. So it had like had little guest, I guess, spots in there too. So this album's, of course, from the Frontier Records label. Not real sure what. I guess it's more melodic metal. I guess you would say it doesn't really have a specific genre on the metal encyclopedia here. So, but that's what I would
okay.
probably.
I got you.
That's what I would probably call it. So, 11 songs, 42 minutes, 19 seconds. I'm not a real big fan of that type of music anyway. But it wasn't bad. I wouldn't say that. It was definitely. I'd actually say Power Wolf and bands like that are a little bit harder than this. So I guess that's why I can relate to them more. This was more of a oh man, I don't know how to even like put it, but it was more of like an old school '80s band meets Power Wolf, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I got you.
It was. Sometimes it was a little weird, but overall it wasn't like horrible. But I would try to stay kind of in the middle with it, like a 2.5 horns out of 5. So
okay, I got you.
Yeah.
All right.
So not horrible, but not great.
Right. Yeah. Better than a kick in the face with a golf shoe.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Let's see. I actually I actually managed to listen to 2 albums all the way through. I think I'll get to that in a minute. I initially was going to, like I texted you. You asked me what album I was going to do. I was
Yeah.
initially going to do "Somnia" by Hawkwind. I got about 3 songs in, and I was like, no. I was like, no, I can't.
Yeah.
I'm actually, in all honesty, I'm actually surprised I made it through the first song, considering that the word "heebie-jeebies" was in the very first line of the very first song. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? They actually put
Uh,
heebie-jeebies in a song. So,
we are in
so like I say, I
2021,
made it
right?
right. Yeah.
Uh,
So I made it to about I made it to about the third song and I tapped out. So, I wouldn't bother with that one as far as it being a metal album. I don't know what the hell they would have classified it as. I'm not even sure why it was on the list because I wouldn't even call it hard rock. So I'm going to even give a hard pass on that one.
yeah.
The other one I did listen to all the way through was "God Is Partying" by Andrew WK.
Oh yeah.
Um, I liked this album overall. It wasn't the one I did my formal review on. I'll get to that one here in just a second. I liked it overall. I will say that the 3 singles that had music videos out ahead of the release were the best 3 songs on the album. So in that respect, I was a little disappointed overall in the album. Um, I've never really been a big Andrew WK fan in general. I think the only song I ever really cared for was Party Hard, but
Mhm.
that was years and years ago. So not exactly, an Andrew WK expert by any stretch, but when the singles started coming out with the videos, I started checking those out because the first one that I watched, uh, I think may have been on Kerrang, and they were talking about how Andrew WK is releasing a more metal album than he had in the past. I was like, okay, I'll bite. Let's see what this sounds like. And like I say, the 3 singles that came out ahead of the album were impressive, especially the first track, Everybody Sins. If you haven't seen the video for that song, I'll put it on the Facebook page. That song kicks so much ass.
Mhm.
It's ridiculous how much I love that song. It's phenomenal. I love that song. The other 2 singles were Babylon and I'm in Heaven. So those are the 3 songs that have actual music videos off of the album. You can find every song individually on YouTube. That's actually how I ended up having to listen to it because I couldn't find a place to download it. So I listened to it one at a time on YouTube. But I did listen to the album all the way through. Like I said, the 3 singles that came out ahead of the release were for me the best 3 songs. He released a ballad, I think, a couple days ago, earlier this week, which was okay. Um, I'm gonna give the album on in its entirety like a 3 out of 5. Like I say, I liked the album as a whole. There was one track that was one of those pointless musical interludes. So I mean, you can throw that out. Um, it really didn't lead to anything. It wasn't an intro to another song. It was just kind of filler. But I'm going to give the entire album 3 out of 5. But like I say, that song "Everybody Sins" just kicked so much ass. And then the other 2 videos, like I say, "Babylon" and "I'm in Heaven" were also pretty good too. So check those out. Those are on YouTube. So I am going to give that album 3 out of 5. My formal review that I'm going to do was the new album "Gods of Debauchery" by Seven Spires. They are a symphonic metal band formed in Boston, Massachusetts in 2013. Their lyrical themes include dark fantasy, and that basically sums up the entire album. You have Adrienne Cowan on vocals and keyboards. She is the lead singer of the band. Jack Costo on guitars, Peter Albert de Reina on bass, and Chris Dovas on drums. Gods of Debauchery is their third full-length album. Their debut album, Solveig, came out in 2017. Emerald Seas came out last year, and obviously Gods of Debauchery came out yesterday. This one's This one's a doozy. This one is 16 tracks in length and 1 hour, 17 minutes, and 36 seconds. So,
Wow.
so if you're gonna listen to this one, pack a fucking lunch. Um, yeah. Track number 1, Wanderer's Prayer, is 1 minute and 42 seconds and is technically the intro to track number 2, which is Gods of Debauchery. So that's the title track, Gods of Debauchery, track 2. So track number 1 is basically the intro to track 2. I wish they would have just kind of just mushed them together and made it 15 tracks instead of 16, but no harm done, I guess. Track number 3, The Cursed Muse, clocked in at 4:19. Track 4, Ghost of Yesterday, at 3:53. Track 5, Lightbringer, which had a music video that I posted to the Metalheads Unite Facebook page, I guess maybe a week or two ago, clocked in at 3:03. Track 6, Echoes of Eternity, at 5:13. Track 7, Shadow on an Endless Sea, at 5:10. Track 8, Dare to Live, at 4:44. Track 9, In Sickness and in Health, at 4:21. Track number 10, This God is Dead, at 10:37. Track number 11, Oceans of Time, at 4:19. Track number 12, The Unforgotten Name, at 5:26, and that's a ballad with a duet. And I didn't take note of the male vocalist who accompanies her on this one, but he's from another band. But that's a duet ballad. Track number 13, Gods Amongst Men, at 4:10. Track 14, Dream Chaser, at 5:40. Track 15, Through Lifetimes, at 4:13. And last but not least, track number 16, Fall With Me, at an even 4 minutes. I'm not even 100% sure that I've heard this album all the way through. And the reason why that is I streamed it to Spotify yesterday, and I was working in the yard, and I wasn't paying attention at first, but I had the shuffle on. So I'm not even 100%. I'm not 100% sure I got to all 16 tracks, because, like I say, I was working in the yard and I wasn't exactly paying full attention. And I started to hear a couple songs that I heard, previously, and I was like, shit, I don't know if I've been all the way through this album. So I'm not 100% sure what songs I've heard and what songs I haven't. I'm going to have to see if I can actually find it somewhere to download to where I can listen to the album in its entirety from start to finish, track 1 to track 16. So I'm going to give this a 3.5 out of 5 based on that. I could probably bump that up from 4 horns out of 5 if, in fact, I did listen to every song. Adrienne Cowan, she can sing like any style you want. I mean, she sings clean on this album. She sings gutturals on this album. Her gutturals in general remind me of Alyssa White from Arch Enemy. But she actually sings her gutturals. She actually has a more diverse pitch range of her gutturals. Sometimes she sings them at a higher pitch. Sometimes she sings them at a throatier pitch. The good thing about Adrienne Cowan's gutturals is they're a lot easier to understand than a lot of gutturals from a lot of other singers. That's why she kind of reminds me of Alyssa White, because Alyssa White sings a lot of the guttural stuff for Arch Enemy too. But I have an easier time understanding Alyssa White, and Adrienne Cowan's gutturals are a little cleaner to me than a lot of other vocalists. So that kind of lends it to a little bit more of an enjoyable experience. But different from Arch Enemy, Seven Spires, I mean, I can't remember there being an entire song of nothing but the guttural vocal stylings. Arch Enemy deals predominantly in all of the guttural vocals, with the exception of one song on their new album. But so yeah, Adrienne Cowan, she can basically sing however you want. When she sings the clean vocals, her vocal range is extremely wide. She can hit high notes, she can hit low notes. Chris Dovas on drums, he's a phenomenal drummer. He is super talented. I pay more attention to the drums, probably a lot more than maybe you do, Jason, because I love the drums so much. I wish I played, and I don't, but I focus on the drums a lot. And this guy, man, he is an insane drum talent. I mean, he's not the guy from Meshuggah, don't get me wrong, but few people are. But I mean, just he's a virtuoso, man. It's ridiculous. And then another thing that I liked, even though they are a symphonic metal band, the guitar solos on this album. I mean, they were really nice and shreddy, and there were a lot of thrash metal aspects to the guitar solos and a lot of power metal aspects to the guitar solos. So even though they're a symphonic metal band and those elements are present in almost every song, you know, the symphonic accompaniment, the choral accompaniment in a lot of the songs, you know, they don't pigeonhole themselves to that symphonic metal, whatever you want to call it. They don't pigeonhole themselves. So diversity is everywhere in this album. So yeah, this one was good from start to finish. Like I say, I think I'm still not 100% sure I've heard all 16 songs, but what I did hear, I thought was great. I wasn't bored at all during the album. I will say there were a couple of songs that maybe sounded alike, but that also could be the fact that like I say, I was going through shuffles. So there were some songs I listened to more than once. So that could have been my ear fooling me. So if you're going to listen to the album in its entirety, try to do so from start to finish. That way you do get all 16 songs. I'm going to have to go back, like I say, and make sure that I did hear all 16 songs. But yeah, this is easily a 3.5 out of 5. And if I did listen to all 16 songs, I will definitely bump this up to a 4 horns out of 5. I was impressed with this album. I enjoyed it very much. Yeah, there was a little bit of everything for everyone. There really was. So I would definitely say it's worth the listen. Even if you're really not into the symphonic part of it, it doesn't dominate the music. So it's not so overpowering that it would kind of, I wouldn't say it would turn people off, even if they're not a fan of the symphonic accompaniment and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
So those are the albums that I was able to listen to this week.
Cool.
Let's see, what do we got? So, you know, like Jason said earlier, we are going to go through the Metallica Blacklist this week, and we'll run it down next week. So that may, like I say, that may take a little bit more time. But as far as next Friday, September 17th of 2021, leading off with Alien.
Can I ask a question real quick, guys?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just curious, the Metallica Blacklist thing, the Neverending Collection, is that on Spotify or is that something you have to buy outright?
I don't know. I can find out like real quick.
Yeah, because I was going to say I'm not 100% sure. I mean, of course, knowing Metallica, you're not going to be able to get it for free.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If you get it for free, you're going to get a knock on your door from Lars Ulrich and a very, very angry scowl.
He's going to spit.
So you. Yeah, he's going to do that. So he'll probably wear your kneecaps out because he's little. So
yes,
but yeah. So in case you don't know, since our fearless leader brought it up, the Metallica Blacklist, in case you don't know, is 53 different cover versions of the entire album from start to finish, various artists across literally various genres from around the world. So every song on the album, from the first album, or from the first track to the 12th track, is covered. There are more cover versions of some songs than others. Obviously there's going to be more covers of Enter Sandman and The Unforgiven and Nothing Else Matters than probably The Struggle Within and other songs on there. So, but it is 53 tracks in length. It is almost 4 hours long, I do believe. So yeah, that's going to take Jason and I a little bit of time to go through. But like I said before, I've heard a few of the cover songs so far. I did listen to Corey Taylor's version of Holier Than Thou yesterday. I know Ghost did a cover of Enter Sandman that I haven't heard yet.
I know
that. Jason's probably not gonna. I know Jason's probably not gonna like that one. He really doesn't care for Ghost that much.
It's typical Ghost.
Oh God.
Yeah. So I mean,
yeah.
So I mean, that's fine. I'm not exactly a Ghost aficionado myself, but
the pop singer girl, I forgot her name. She did a better version of Enter Sandman than Ghost.
No shit. Okay.
And to your point,
all right.
I think The Struggle Within only has one cover. I believe. I could be wrong, but from what I've seen, that's the one with like one cover.
Right, and that may have been the version that Corey Taylor did. Like I say, I think Enter Sandman, because I mean, hell, Weezer did a cover of Enter Sandman that admittedly wasn't that bad. It really wasn't.
Yeah.
And then Miley Cyrus did a cover of Nothing Else Matters. And like I say, there's a hell, and I haven't heard it, but I know Chris Stapleton. He's a country music artist. He did a cover of Nothing Else Matters. I'm looking forward to a few of the covers of The Unforgiven, considering it's my favorite song of all time, with the exception of the version that Cage the Elephant is going to do, because I cannot stand that band as far as I could throw them. So I'm not happy at all that Cage the Elephant is covering my favorite song of all time. So I'm not exactly looking forward to that cover version. I just hope they didn't fuck it up for me. But yeah, so there's, like I say, it's 12 tracks in length, the Black Album, but there are 53 different covers that have been done.
Yeah,
so you're gonna get, you're gonna get some pop, some country. You're gonna get some metal bands who put their own spin on it. You're gonna get some international acts who have done cover versions. I do know that there was a guy from, I'm wanting to say Costa Rica, who did a cover of Enter Sandman. I don't know that I got that right. It may have been a South American country. I'll have to double check, but that I didn't really care for. So, but there's, basically any genre of music maybe that you could almost think of, there may be a cover version of it on this blacklist. So yeah, we're going to go through it, and, we'll run it down and give a yay or nay to each one, and
what's kind
we'll
of
see how that goes.
And I didn't mean to jump in and interfere, guys.
No, you're good.
No, you're fine. Anytime.
You know what's crazy? When I hear that you have to buy an album, and I always say having a physical album is always so much better than a Spotify or whatever. At the same time, I have no CD players anymore at all.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it sucks. Do they even still sell them?
They do, but they don't really sell them in stores anymore. I do know that like Target will still sell CDs of the albums that are new releases that are in like the top 20 or whatever it is, like on the album charts or whatever. So they've got basically, like, Target has one end cap rack on one aisle that has CDs on it. Best Buy doesn't sell them at all anymore. So there are very, very few places you can physically go buy a CD and have it in hand right away. Jason, he works at Amazon, so you can order them off of Amazon all day. But as far as going to a store, buying one and having it in hand right then, the pickings are slim, to say the least. And the funny thing is like a couple years ago, when I bought my truck, it actually has an aftermarket radio with Bluetooth and all that shit, but it actually does have a CD slot on it.
You're lucky.
I actually could listen. I do have a physical CD collection. Like Jason, like you do, and Dan, I'm sure you still do. So I could listen to them, but yeah, it's getting. It is getting, the CD itself is definitely an endangered species, even the capability to even play them.
Yeah, I'm lucky enough to have one in my car as well. So
yeah,
my car doesn't have one. Period. I got a 2019.
The rental car I have doesn't have any of that either. That's because I've got a rental to come up here, but yeah, it doesn't have it. Like I was sitting there looking around, like, where in the hell would you put a CD in if you wanted to listen to it? Like, oh, you can.
Right.
I was like, oh, that's great. Yeah. But to answer your question, Dan, I did find the Metallica Blacklist playlist on Spotify that has most of those songs on it. So
cool.
Yeah,
right.
It looks like they got away with doing that by putting in the remastered version of each Metallica song in front of the in front of the cover. So they got all the Enter Sandmans, and then they got the Enter Sandman remastered in the middle of it. So, or at the end of it. So they stuck Metallica's version in there somewhere. So I guess that's how they got away with it. I don't know. But I was trying to look at and see if the Struggle Within had more than that one, because you said you only knew the one. So There is
Or
actually, there is only the one. Yeah.
And I just want to correct myself. Corey Taylor did Holier Than Thou, not the Struggle Within. So that if I said that Corey Taylor did Struggle Within, I was mistaken. I just caught myself. So yeah, he did Holier Than Thou. Corey Taylor did. So
it kills me that Struggle Within doesn't get no love. It's such a great. I mean, the drum track alone is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, the intro is amazing. Yeah, it's phenomenal.
I want to go to war with that music, and Don't Tread on Me, of course. But come on.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, hey, thank you, gentlemen. I'm going to shut up and let you guys continue, but I appreciate it.
All right, no problem. Anytime.
I actually want to hear the Who's version of Through the Never. That's what I want to hear.
Oh, that'll actually probably be pretty good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I bet it will.
Yeah, I heard Volbeat's Don't Tread on Me. It's actually pretty good. I actually like that one. So.
All right, so let's see. We've got the new releases. So yeah, well, like I say, we'll go ahead and we'll give that one a rundown during the week, and we'll have our yays and nays for that one. Everything else, the brand new releases for September 17th, and the first one on the list, I'm actually looking forward to listening to. You probably are too, Jason. We've got Alien Weaponry with Tangaroa.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So. We've got Arcturus with Stars in Oblivion, The Complete Works, 1991 to 2002. We have Brainstorm with Wall of Skulls. We have Candlebox with Wolves, Carcass with Torn Arteries, Charlotte Wessels with Tales from 6 Feet Under. We have Criminal with Sacrificio. We have Daughtry with Dearly Beloved, Dead Sarah with Ain't It Tragic, Don Bracco with Amazing Things. We have the vinyl re-release of Drowning Pool's Sinner. We have Edge of Paradise with The Unknown. We have Idola with The Architect. Employed to Serve with Conquering. We have Hexen with State of Insurgency. That's a re-release for them. We have Insomnium with Ancient Moon. That's an EP for them. We have the 30th anniversary re-release of Ozzy Osbourne's No More Tears. We have The Plot in You with Swan Song. The Raven Age with Exile. There you go, Jason. New Raven Age.
Yeah, you know that.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, I'll check that one out too. We have Robledo with Wanted Man. We have Robin Red with a self-titled album. We have Sonny Vincent with Snake Pit Therapy. Spirit Box with Eternal Blue. We have Thrice with Horizon/East. Vega with Anarchy and Unity. And last but not least, we have Wisdom with Of Wonders and Wars. So there's some interesting ones on the list coming up for September 17th, 2021. A couple that I've definitely been looking forward to.
Lots to choose from, too, sounds like. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Awesome. So I will say that I'll probably try to do a recap on the page of today and tomorrow's events here at Blue Ridge. So if you don't follow us over on Facebook and you want to know about the happenings up here, just follow us over there, and I'll do I'll do a video tonight and tomorrow to put on the page there to let y'all guys know how it went. So.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
So anyway, anything else you want to say before we close here, Chris?
Well, I want to, I just like normal, I want to say thanks to everybody who checks out the show. We want to give a shout out to a couple people who came by today and joined us in the chat. We had Murph come back by and join us. We also had Kit Kat come by, and we had Final come in and say hi to us today. We got a new subscription from Murph, so thank you to our friends who came by and checked us out. Truly decided to wake up and come in and say hi. So hi to Truly. Appreciate that. And to everybody that listened to us today on KTV, excuse me, on the KTV radio today for our first journey with them over there. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the show, and we'll check us out moving forward. We appreciate anybody who came by and checked us out over there. We also have, like Jason and I have talked about before, we have the Metalheads Unite Facebook page over on Facebook. Give us a member request over there. We'll get you guys hooked up. We do try to keep the content as up to date as possible. But if you care to join and send us that member request, we'll get you hooked up, and you can submit any new favorites, any old favorites over there that you'd like. Other than that, I mean, just a thanks to everybody.
Yeah, my plan for the day was to actually do this from the venue, but with the crazy internet connections there, it wouldn't have been possible to do that. But I wanted to take you guys on a little bit of the journey with me. But unfortunately, with us being in the mountains, I guess it doesn't. Of course, GPS don't work with the shit in Virginia, just so you know. So
that doesn't surprise me too much.
Yeah. So there's that. But yeah. So I want to thank KTV Radio for having us as well. I want to thank everybody for dropping by our earlier than normal morning. So I apologize for anybody having to
get out of bed.
Get inconvenienced them to get up so early just to listen to us. But
yeah.
But yeah, we appreciate everybody appreciate the chats, and we love talking to you guys. So yep, I'm gonna get off and head back out to the venue.
You got a concert to go to. Yeah.
See how everything's gonna go today. Hopefully everything's a little bit more organized than yesterday. It seems like it's getting better, so hopefully it just keeps getting better. So they'll have it figured out by the time it ends.
Exactly. They'll have all the bugs ironed out Sunday night at 11:30.
Yeah. So,
but everybody keep your eyes. Everybody also keep your eyes peeled for the latest top 10 list playlist on Spotify. Jason will post a link like he always does. So yeah, that'll be a good one. Just keep your eyes open for that.
So with that being said, we will see you guys next week back to a somewhat regular format, except for the blacklist teardown that we're going to do. But and then our top 10 for next week, we've already decided it was going to be live. So hopefully we'll get some good stuff out of that one. Maybe as good as this week. We only had one overlap, so that's good. But yeah, so until next week, you guys go out, keep those devil horns held high, and jump in that pit anytime you can. Until then, we'll see you guys next week.
Thank you guys. Have a great week.
Oh man. Are we done yet?
Yeah. He hadn't pulled the plug on us just yet.
Anybody in there?